How's it going? My name is Stacy and I work at Lowe's. Summer is about to officially kick off, and now's the perfect time to get your garden going. Stop by our nursery today and get 10% off all garden mulch. And when the work is done, fire up the grill with our exclusive charcoal offer. Now buy one bag of Kingsford regular charcoal and get one free. Limit 2 per customer. Start your summer with savings this weekend at Lowe's. Lowe's. Let's build something together. Offers valid 5/25/11 to 5/30/11. Some restrictions apply.
Blog Talk Radio.
All right, we're back. It is the Frank the Unicorn radio program. With me, as always, is Beans.
Hi, this is Rachel Ray.
Oh, I wish.
Don't you?
You'd be so much more attractive. Plus, you could also...
Plus, I'd be cooking for you. Right?
I was just going to say, you can make paella.
It's true. I can't even pronounce paella. What was that?
Paella.
Paella.
If you like paella, well, stick around, listen to the show. We got a lot of stuff we're going to cover. We're going to cover some of our standard topics. We're going to go through who we want to get, who we're trying to find to get on the show or convince to get on the show. We're going to discuss the week in history. We've expanded our segment to be not just the one day, but we thought it was great. We wanted to do the entire week, plus a lot of very interesting and actually sad things happened this week in history, so we're going to talk about that.
Yay, sadness.
Yay. We're going to also take a classic stale joke, and we're going to update it with some new funny punchlines. We're going to give it some new life, breathe some new life into it, make it like a joke 2.0.
See, it's not all stale jokes here. We also fix stale jokes.
And then make them worse, actually, I think is probably what's going to happen there. I won't tell the cantaloupe joke, but I think that's still, it's gold.
See, just by bringing it up, you've put it out there. Now you have to tell it. Folks, if you think this joke is decent, call in.
No,
I want you to note that there will be no calls.
Of course there's not convenient calls. There's probably no one listening right now.
But those that are won't like this joke.
No. I just think that if Cantaloupe changed its name, it would have a more positive outcome for its existence. It would be more positively received. All right, yeah, it was a bad joke. I know. Doesn't matter. So we're also going to take, we've got a special call-in. We're going to get a call-in at, we believe, around 8:30 from Pitch to the Rhino, which is a local sports blog that we want to speak to. They've got an event coming up this weekend that they want to talk about, so we look forward to that around 8:30 or so. But let's go ahead and, we've also got Glamour and Rachel Ray magazine. We're going to dissect these. We're going to go through these and see if we can pull out some gold out of here, some rhinestones.
Which is awesome because I didn't know until tonight that Rachel Ray has a magazine, so this should be fun for me.
Well, now you know.
Now I do.
Well, you're definitely not her if you didn't know the magazine. If you were unaware of the existence of the magazine, then clearly you, sir, are not Rachel Ray.
I suppose that's probably true.
You do have, well, I'm not going to say. I don't want to lose listeners on that one. All right, so let's just go ahead and start out with who we want to get on the show, who we think we could get on the show, who we're interested in talking to on the show. I'm going to put one out there. I'm sure you're going to agree with me. I don't think anyone would not want to talk to this guy, Steve Buscemi.
I very much agree.
I absolutely love Steve Buscemi. Steve Buscemi is amazing because, well, I don't know. I guess we could just be polite and use the Fargo method of describing Steve Buscemi, that he's, kind of weird looking,
But it's more than that. There's real talent there. The thing that gets me is he made this movie called Trees Lounge that most people have never seen.
It's a very good film.
And set on Long Island, and being a Long Island guy myself, it's the only movie I think I've ever seen that really made me feel like I was back on Long Island. Like it was just, he got the setting down just so perfectly.
Well, and I love Buscemi because, A, he's hilarious. He does great comedy, and his SNL was one of the funniest SNLs I've seen. One of the reasons I want to get him here, I want him to teach me to do the white tornado. Absolutely. I can't master it. I don't know how to do it. It's beyond my capabilities. But perhaps if Steve Buscemi were out there and he could come here and help me to learn to do the white tornado. But also, too, he's such a great bad guy because he's so creepy and he can do such a good job being creepy and weird,
Yeah.
And
why he's still the best thing about Con Air.
Yeah, he's the only thing about Con Air. Other than if you want to see some grade A mullet,
it's a darn fine do.
Yeah, yeah. What was Nicolas Cage? You know, I don't even know how that conversation went, because it's late enough. I mean, that's not circa '82. You know what I mean? That's not when hockey hair was in. That was not.
Well, I guess it was not too far away from when Sudden Death came out, and I guess he thought that if Van Damme could pull it off, if he wanted to be an action hero, he'd have to go with the hard target hairdo.
It's possible, but see, well, all right. But Sudden Death, he didn't have the mullet, because that was 95. That was the Powers Booth, right? Hard Target, he did have the mullet. That was 93. That was with Yancey Butler.
I was just going with Van Damme's hair in general. I don't think it really matters which movie he was in, because even when he had short hair, he had quite the poof going on top.
Yeah, well.
So either way, there's some.
You would think he'd use his foot.
Fascinating action.
You would think he'd be able to do like the split kick and push his hair down, like that poofiness. He could kick it down with his. No.
I like that we're on the radio and you're doing.
I'm doing the kick. I'm doing the kick.
The
I'm kicking it out. Yeah. Why not?
Boy, do I wish we were on television.
I know. But you know, we don't have the production for that. We don't have the production capabilities for that. But perhaps someday, you know, you never know what's going to happen in the future. It's true. Yeah. You could ask Steve Buscemi. I'm sure at some point in Fargo, at no point in time during Fargo did he expect to end up in a wood chipper.
That's probably true. Thanks for spoiling it for those of our listeners who have not yet seen Fargo.
You know what? The movie came out in 1996. It's a classic. If you haven't seen it and you don't know that happens, sorry.
Sorry, folks.
You know, it's like
no
it's 5 seconds of the entire movie, and so what? Watch the movie. It's great.
But still.
You know what we should do? We should sit here and read the entire script of Fargo from beginning to end. We should do a special episode called a Fargo episode and just...
I don't think I could do the Minnesota accent.
I can totally do the Minnesota accent. What I can't do is the Peter Stormare thing. That's too...
Okay, there's a guy I would also like to get on the show because he is fascinatingly off-putting.
Yeah, he really is.
But strangely in a good way. Like, I'm severely entertained by Peter Stormare.
Yeah, it's like, I don't even like this guy looking at me from a TV.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't imagine being in a room with that guy.
Did you ever see the movie Bruiser that he was in?
No.
He is so incredibly off-kilter in that movie that I've honestly never seen another performance like it. And I'm fascinated by the guy.
I would like to see him on kilter.
I don't think that's possible.
Okay.
The closest you'll get is The Lost World, and even there, I don't think he was quite on kilter.
No, and he was eaten by a dinosaur in that?
He was eaten by tiny
dinosaurs.
He was swarmed by mini-saurs.
There you go. What a way to... Well, that's what you get for putting Steve Buscemi in a wood chipper.
That's true.
And now I've completely ruined the scene for you.
Yes, you have.
Well, not really. I didn't tell them that, you know, what happens right before. When, you know. Anyway, so, all right. To go back to who we want to get on the show, we've gone over Steve Buscemi, Peter Stormare, another creepy, awesome guy that I'd like to get on the show. And he doesn't get the credit for being creepy, but I'm going to tell a story from my childhood that relates to this actor, which is quite creepy, actually. And you guys can go back and figure this out. It's pretty hilarious. Joe Mantegna.
David Mamet's favorite actor.
He's one of mine, too. I love Joe Mantegna. I love him. And one of the first time I ever became aware of Joe Mantegna, he was actually hosting SNL. It's probably, I don't know, I must have been maybe 12 or 13, whatever.
He's a superfan.
14, 15, I don't know. Yeah, he originated the Superfan sketch, for those of you that don't know, on that episode of SNL. And when Norm took it over, he basically, he was the brother of Joe Mantegna. That was the setup every time that they opened that up. So, anyway, Joe Mantegna, during his monologue, a kid wearing a Joe Montana shirt gets up to leave.
I remember this.
And Joe Mantegna says, "Excuse me, no one leaves the theater when Joe Mantegna is on the stage." And so he proceeds to ask the father if he can talk to the son, because the son says, well, you know, he's a Joe Montana fan, and he mistook and thought you were Joe Montana, and blah, blah, blah. So Mantegna pulls the kid aside and he said, you know, explains to him that, you know, you may not know who I am, you may not know about my films, but I portray a lot of very, very unsavory characters and dangerous men. Are you familiar with the term typecasting? You know, and he goes on and on, basically threatens the kid. And he says that if Timmy doesn't stay, perhaps Joe Montana suffers a career-ending injury. Or he wakes up, or maybe John Madden wakes up with a horse's head in his sheets or whatever. Anyway, the next day, okay, that was Saturday night. The next Sunday, Joe Montana.
Hence the title of the show.
Of course. Joe Montana, and I'm sure this is only coincidental, suffered a serious injury and missed the remainder of the season. And actually, as I recall, I think it may have in fact ended his career with the 49ers and caused him to get traded.
Nothing against Joe Montana, but that is awesome. I actually never knew that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was either the very next day or maybe a week or two later, but it was very close to when Mantegna said it on the air. And I just thought, that to me just developed this instant mystique, and I thought, wow, that dude's cool. And then, of course, he's been in a lot of great films, and, you know, it didn't
House
take...
of Games, good stuff.
Oh, yeah, and it didn't take long to start to really appreciate Mantegna. And then, of course, he started doing Fat Tony on The Simpsons, and that was pretty much the end of that. So
he's also the voice of Spencer in the Robert B. Parker audiobooks, which is great. He's really, really good.
I love Mantegna. And I love to do his voice. I know that my impression is a little bit 1988, but that's okay for me.
It's not bad. He played Spencer in a couple of movies, too. It's good stuff.
As we both take a sip of water at the same
right.
time. That's a radio no-no. We just broke the
did
rules.
it anyway.
We're rule breakers.
We are.
We're rebels. We live outside the lines.
I'm a loner, Dottie. A rebel.
Okay, so last week when we were talking about who to get, and all respect to Joe Mantegna, but I'm going to move on now, although thank you for that.
But please don't break Joe Montana's legs just because we're moving on.
Right, no, he needs them to stay in shape and do the Skechers commercial. So another actor I'd love to get on the show, another guy kind of like Buscemi. He's in a lot of things. He's very versatile. He just kind of appears everywhere, and he can do anything from really, really serious to really, really hilarious. John Turturro.
Would I have to forgive him for Transformers if he comes on the show?
No, you could rib him about it. I think he seems like a pretty cool guy, and I think he would go along with it. I mean, tell him you saw Barton Fink.
And if I may go back to motion picture hairdos for a moment, that is probably the all-time greatest, is the Barton Fink hair.
It's enormous.
He's like Kid from Kid and Play.
Yes, he is.
Or is that Play? I don't know.
That is Christopher Kid Reed.
Kid.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That is correct. And I would like to ask him about Big Lebowski. I mean, he has one of the funniest scenes in the whole movie. The whole movie is great.
He's
scenes
in what, like 4 minutes of
literally,
the movie
yeah,
and
yeah.
totally steals the movie.
Yeah, totally. You always remember his performance. But he has nothing to do with the film. He's not integral to that story at all. You can completely cut him out, and it doesn't matter. The only reason that character's there, first of all, is just to be funny, to provide some comic relief.
And might be the greatest accent in movie history.
Oh, yeah. That's what I meant. That's right. But, okay, the other part of that is the hilarity that the Gypsy Kings are covering Hotel California during his opening scene, and the dude is constantly complaining throughout the whole movie how he hates the Eagles because he can't stand Don Henley. And up until I saw that movie, whenever I would tell anyone, hey, I hate the Eagles, I just don't like their music, it's nothing personal, like I don't hate them, I don't think they suck or anything, they're great musicians, obviously, but I just don't particularly enjoy that music, it's not my thing, and so I say, I hate the Eagles, Don Henley sucks.
For the record, if you're listening, Mr. Henley, I rather like you.
Again, it's nothing.
I like the Eagles, and I happen to love your solo stuff.
Again, it's nothing personal. I actually like his solo stuff more than the Eagles stuff. But again,
the Inside Job twice today.
It's nothing personal. But I always felt like such a loner. This is so stupid, but I always felt like such a loner until I saw Big Lebowski, and the dude said, "Man, I hate the Eagles," and I was like, "Okay, great." Now
so you felt better that a fictional character shared that with you.
That's right.
Okay, no one else does. I just want you to know
because
Eagles,
he's such a.
If you ever want to reunite again, you're more than welcome to.
If they need a few more 100 million, yeah, absolutely, sure. If they wanted to reunite on the show, I would totally go for that. But let's be real here. Come on.
You just screwed that.
Possibly. But you know what? I mean,
Joe Walsh just turned off his computer. All because of you.
All right. I'm sorry, Joe Walsh, to make you turn off your computer.
I don't even know you anymore.
You know I don't like the Eagles.
And I've never felt that was something I could appreciate.
Well, all right. Anyway, I felt better that the dude who, let's face it, it's a pretty damn cool character, at least shared that with me. It's one of the things I really liked about him. I was like, okay, you wear a bathrobe to the store, and
which you're wearing right now.
No, but okay. If that's what you want me to wear, is that how you want it? All right. But no, I mean, pretty much any member of the cast of The Big Lebowski would be top notch.
Even Flea?
Yeah, of course, man. Then we could ask him about Back to the Future. Like, how'd you hook that up, man?
I've always wondered that myself.
Well, they needed some punks, and we went down there, and we were kicking around.
Punks.
Yeah, we happen to fit the bill. So John Goodman, we could get John Goodman. That would be great. I'd love to ask him about some of his SNL experience as well.
Because he has more than most cast members. He's hosted that show. There's some trivia. A lot of people don't know this. John Goodman has hosted the show 17 million times.
17 million.
17 million.
Almost as many as Alec Baldwin and Steve Martin, but
Almost.
not quite.
I remember there being a joke at one point where they did a sketch where it was the future of the show and John Goodman was a cast member. I mean, which I'm surprised hasn't happened yet.
Well, why not? I mean, the guy's great on the show. He's hilarious.
He's terrific.
Every time, if it's, you pretty much know with SNL, look, if it's John Goodman, Alec Baldwin, or Christopher Walken hosting the show, it's going to be damn good.
You're in for some quality.
It's going to be funny.
Walken hasn't hosted in years. That man needs to come back.
Yeah, and his last one was a really good one, too. Last one was the one where he did Colonel Angus,
Yeah,
and,
he hasn't hosted since, what, 05?
something like that, yeah. It's been a really long time.
Not right, Chris. We miss you.
We need the Continental.
We do.
We need the Continental.
Dare I say we need more cowbell, as overplayed as that may be?
Yeah,
But
I
we
mean,
do.
I know right now that if anyone is actually listening to our show, they are dying, if they know us at all, they are dying to hear me do the Walken impression, but guess what? Not going to happen. Not going to happen.
So first you spoil Fargo.
Yep.
Then you bash Mr. Don Henley.
Well,
My good, close, personal friend. Mr. Don
potentially
Henley,
later in the show, I may do it. I may. We may get an appearance from Walken. I might have him do one of the jokes.
Maybe if he sings Hotel California.
In Spanish.
Then maybe that'll be enough.
In Spanish. It's got to be done in Spanish, in Espanol.
Incidentally, have you seen Toy Story 3?
I have not.
Gypsy Kings do a great version of You've Got a Friend in Me in that movie.
Sweet.
Totally worth seeing it just for that.
Awesome. I love the Gypsy Kings, man. I think they're awesome. I mean, I cannot play that style of crazy flamenco.
I can't move my hands that fast without a guitar in them.
Wow.
I don't know how they do what they do.
Years of training and practice.
I tried. I
Hard
cramped.
work. Yeah. Well, speaking of cramps, I don't know how this.
Are we on to the women's magazines?
Yeah, no. I was just going to segue into asking a question. Last week, one of the people we talked about as being overexposed was Betty White. You said that you did. You came down on Betty White.
How speaking of cramps leads to Betty White.
I don't know, but the reason I'm bringing it up is because it's very unpopular right now to be anti-Betty White, right? Kind of like it's unpopular, I guess, to not like the Eagles. So that's why I was throwing that in there.
Well, they're unpopular and downright wrong.
But
okay.
Betty White got to host SNL. So now here's my thing. Why hasn't Weird Al been allowed to host SNL? Why the hell has Weird Al Yankovic never been the host of Saturday Night Live?
I don't know if it's so much that he hasn't been allowed. I don't think they're stopping him.
They haven't asked.
I think he may just not be on the list.
He needs to be. And you know why?
I agree with
because
that.
they can call it SNL.
That they can.
They can. We have a
It
caller.
worked for LTV.
It did. We have a caller coming in.
Dear Lord.
Caller, you're on.
Hey, Frank, it's Sean.
Sean, how's it going, buddy?
Not bad, man. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm glad you called in. There's a little short side route we wanted to take here because I wanted to tell a specific story, okay? It's one of Bean's favorite stories. It's one of my favorite stories.
It can actually be my favorite story.
I think it's probably it's definitely up there for me. It's definitely up there for me. It's one of the most frightening things I've ever been a part of, and it was extremely frightening and exciting and just really amazing to witness what happened. Now, Sean, do you want to give us a little setup? We're talking about your older brother.
Well, of course, if it's a scary, frightening experience, it had to be with him.
Okay, so
That
we're talking.
if it's frightening, scary, involved cops, someone
Running from
not arrested or arrested,
or arrested.
bodily injury, wood chippers.
Well, no. George did a lot, but he did not put Steve Buscemi in the wood chipper.
We've got a wood chipper themed show.
I think we do. It's, you know what? I was afraid we were going to end up back on the vajazzling, but I'm glad we're segmenting to wood chippers. That's a whole different thing. That's a whole other way to go.
I think I missed the vajazzling, but
Well,
go on.
all right. I knew it would come up, so I just wanted to put it out there. All right. So the story is this, okay, is that just to provide some context for our listeners, basically George was Sean's older brother, my best friend, one of Josh's Beans' best friend. Awesome guy, really, really great. Big, huge Irish kid from South Philly, okay? The nerdiest looking, straightest arrow looking guy you've ever seen in your life, who never wore a piece of wrinkled clothing.
I actually cut myself on the creases in his flat.
Yeah, and
or anything with color.
Or anything with color in it, right. It was all black and tan.
Which really goes well with the pale Irish freckled redhead.
Right, of course, with the giant, with the huge red hair and the big glasses that he would wear as well. So, anyway, love the kid. And the thing is, he was the toughest, baddest guy ever. Like, he was a badass, okay? He was just a badass. He was an Irish kid that grew up in South Philly. He was a bad kid. He was a good guy. He was a great guy. But he was tough as hell. He was the toughest person I've ever met. Martial arts, the whole thing. Like, you know, all these guys doing MMA right now, if he were still with us, unfortunately he's not, I'm sure he would be in the UFC, and he would probably be really hurting a lot of people.
Well, he probably have been kicked out by now for garroting people.
Yeah, possibly.
Well, he kind of looks like Frank Mir.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't want to fight with either of them, but okay. So here's the story. All right. He and I are friends, and you know, he's told me that he's real tough and everything, and you know, guys talk and whatever, and we're young. We're 18, 19 years old, and I haven't known him a real long time, you know. So he's like, "Oh, let's go to this movie." So we go to a movie, and there's a movie theater down here called Meisner Park, and it's, you know, kind of a higher end, you know, it's in Boca and all that, Boca Raton, Florida. And so we go there, and we go to see this movie, The Quick and the Dead. It's a Sharon Stone, Russell Crowe, Leonardo DiCaprio, Gene Hackman Western, if you can imagine that.
Back when Gene Hackman was the only famous one amongst those names.
Yeah, he was the headliner. Yeah, it was Sharon Stone and Gene Hackman, and then Russell Crowe and, you know, Leonardo DiCaprio were the you know, guys. Again, very long time ago. And there was a gunfighter movie, and it wasn't terrible. You know,
Sam Raimi movie. It's got its moments.
Yeah, it's not terrible. It's not a great western, but it's not bad. For a Sharon,
Wild Wild West.
Well, no, thank God. But for a Sharon Stone movie, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
And
cartoony fun.
It was cartoony fun. So we sit down, and we're sitting in the theater, and the place is basically empty. And this couple comes in, and they sit behind us, and they sit directly in the chairs behind us, which is just a rude thing to do to begin with. And I'm thinking, okay, well, that's not really cool, you know. And the guy puts his feet on the back of George's chair. And I'm thinking, well, that's just not cool. So George stands up, and he turns around, and, you know, he's a big, scary, intimidating guy. And he looks at this guy, and he goes, dead monotone voice, just looks at him and says, "Excuse me, you placed your feet on the back of my chair, and I find that to be highly rude. Please remove them. Thank you." The guy takes his feet down, so George sits down, everything's fine. Previews start rolling, right? And previews are going, and we're watching the movie, you know, watching the previews, and this guy puts his feet up on the chair again. He does it again. He puts them up there again, okay? And so now I'm thinking, well, now this guy's pushing it, you know, like what's going on here, right? And so he stands up, and he turns around, and he says to the guy, again, dead monotone voice, "All right, the first time I asked you, now I'm telling you. Remove your feet from the back of my chair, and do not place them there again. Thank you." Sits down. Totally polite, right? So, well, that's the warning. The first time he asked him that, and the next time he told him, right? So, the previews go by, and there's no problem. There is no problem. Everything's fine, okay? 5, 6, 7 minutes of previews, everything's fine. Movie starts, okay? Film starts, feet go back up on the chair. Now he starts kicking his feet. You know how you wiggle your feet on the chair in front of you, you know, like,
yeah, I remember.
Right? George stands up, doesn't say a word, just stands up, says, while facing forward, doesn't say it to the guy, but just stands up and says, "That's it." Turns around, and I mean, before I even knew what was happening, turns around, grabs the guy, reaches over the chair, leans all the way over, grabs the guy with one hand, pulls him up, punches him right between the eyes. Wham! One time, just pow, right between the eyes. Throws him back in the chair. I'm pretty sure he was knocked out before he got to the chair.
I think so.
Well, I mean, I didn't know what the hell to do.
For his sake, I would hope so.
I didn't know what the hell to do. The guy's nose was bleeding. His eyes were like already getting puffy, right? I mean, obviously busted his nose, hurt him bad. Guy was completely knocked out, was drooling on himself. The girlfriend is staring straight ahead, not looking at anything. She's just staring at the movie, but her eyes are completely blank. There's no expression. I'm like, holy shit, man. We got to get out of here. The cops are going to come. We're going to get arrested. I'm going to go to jail. I don't know what's going on. Dude, we got to go. He turns to me and says, I'm going to ask you one time not to interrupt my movie experience. You've seen what happens if I have to tell you and you don't listen. Needless to say, I sat there with my eyes straight forward, staring at the screen, so intently watching all of the activity that was going on for the remainder of the film. And the minute the film was over, before the credits even friggin' started, I was up and we were out and we were gone, and the dude was still knocked out in the chair. He was just waking up an hour and a half later. Hilarious.
For you. Have you ever tried watching?
Get a refund on that.
No, I have not.
I've been curious if you would just be able to even watch it, like if you'd be able to follow it or anything, because all you'd be thinking about is that story.
Probably. I have not ever attempted to watch the movie since. And I agree, Sean, he probably would deserve a well, I don't know if the guy would deserve a refund.
How do you explain the refund?
Yeah, he could, well, I think his face would probably say it all. You know what I mean? God, he probably needed the money back for the emergency room. Poor kid. But you know what? He did it to himself, man. I hate to say it, and I don't agree with vigilante justice. I don't agree with punching people or violence, but it was damn funny.
But the first time he asked him.
Oh, it was so funny. Now looking back, and I'm not in, not there now in that situation, it's funny. At the time, it was terrifying, and I was afraid. I was afraid of him. I'm like, dude, what the hell, geez, I better not step out of line, But no, he wasn't like that. It was just, don't interrupt his movie.
Don't interrupt his movie. Don't cross him, and you'll be fine. And
you just and you better always when you say his name, you got to throw in the third, because if you leave out the third, he gets really upset.
Always the third.
And you couldn't forget the two middle names either.
No, of course not. So anyway, that's just the story I wanted to tell.
That's one.
I think it's definitely up there. I mean, I have some other ones I probably can't tell on the air that are probably better, but we're gonna leave those for private. We're gonna leave those private. That's the only one I want to disclose at this time.
Well,
at some point next.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're the caller. You got it.
No, I was gonna say I remember the only one I remember that stood out in my mind as a kid growing up with him was he came home one night from a fight where somebody broke a bottle over his head. And George just came home and said, no, I got in a fight. I'm going up to bed. Wake up the next morning, the bed's covered in blood. The boy had up to his pinky gash in the top of his head and just walked around like it was nothing.
Because for him it was nothing.
It was no, yeah.
He was paper cut.
Yeah, it was nothing to him. He was like a robot.
He's like, whatever. Didn't hurt. Okay, moving on.
Pain don't hurt.
Nope. All right. Well, Sean, listen. I'm going to say this. We've got a call coming in about 3 minutes from our buddy over at Pitch to the Rhino. So I'm going to let you go, but I'm going to promise you next week if you call, I want you to call in next week, and I want you to think of one of your best stories, one of your best George stories, and I want you to call us in with it next week. We have some great ones too. You and I with him together. We have some great ones too, like when we went to the Keys and stuff. But I want you to think about that, and I'm going to tell the one where he bit the guy's face off next week because that's a great one. But that's a teaser for next week. That's
I don't think I've heard that one.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm saving that for next week.
I can't do it. I have to stay home.
Josh, you haven't heard that one?
I have not.
It's a good one.
I'm going to have to go home and tune into the show.
Get back to work, but before I go, all I have to say is your father held the watch up his ass for 5 years. There's no way the gooks were going to get the watch. It's your birthright.
All right, I'm going to stop you there before it gets too racial. All right, Sean, thanks for calling in, man. We love you. And
absolutely. You guys take care.
All right, man. You too. I'll talk to you a little bit later.
Good to hear from you, sir.
All right, Mom.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is Sean. As I said, great friend of the show. Is basically my little bro. He's a great kid. We love him. And we should be getting expecting a call here any minute from Toby with Pitch to the Rhino. Got some things we're going to talk about. We got a horse race coming up. He's got a horse race coming up this weekend at Calder that we're going to discuss with him. And Beans looks very confused. Not Not a fan of the pony races?
I know nothing about them. Never been to one. Closest I've gotten was watching The Godfather a couple of times.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't really ever. I mean, I've been to a racetrack, and I went there when I was a kid. Oddly enough, how appropriate is that for my parents to take me to a racetrack when I was like 7? But that's the only time I've ever actually been, which is surprising because you would think if I had been exposed to a racetrack at 7, I might have grown up and turned into Walter Matthau from the Bad News Bears.
But do they wear the tall hats like in View to a Kill, or is that just a British thing?
I think I don't recall.
Because I think they need to wear the tall hats.
I was only 7.
I would totally go if they wore the tall hats.
Not all right. Look, if you want to go and view some tall hats, man.
I've only been to Gulfstream Park a couple of times, but it was never for the races. I went for a Huey Lewis concert. That's about it.
You went for the Huey. You were the person that went for the Huey Lewis concert.
Oh, there was a decent crowd.
I'm just kidding.
There were 4 or 5 of us.
I love Huey Lewis.
So do I.
And the News too. I love Huey Lewis and the News. So, all right, let's see if we got a call coming in. This should be Toby. Let's talk to Toby.
Hey, how's it going?
Caller, you're on.
Yes, how's it going?
That's all right. Hey, who's this?
It is Toby, indeed.
Toby, thank you for being on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Toby from Pitch to the Rhino.
Very excited to be here. I'm very excited that you've got your show, and I hope everybody's tuning in and you're having some fun.
So far, so good. I think we're rolling a little bit here. Yeah, I think we're doing all right, man. Let's talk about your blog. Let's talk about Pitch to the Rhino. Give us some information on that.
Absolutely. I'm got 2 partners. One is Jose Boza. We hooked up in mid-April. We were on a phone call where I found out I had a mutual friend with him, and it made no sense to me how he would know him. So we started talking on the phone one day, and after about 20 minutes, Jose said, I've been meaning to call you for a long time. I really want to talk to you about doing something with social media and sports. And I was very silent for about 5 minutes, and finally he said, are you digesting all this? What's the issue? And I said, well, I think it's a great idea. I can't believe nobody's done this. So I was on board immediately. I recruited my good friend Jarrett Striner, Jarrett23 from Twitter, as our other partner. He's an amazing web designer. And within a month, we launched pitchtotherhino.com. That comes from the classic joke, what do you do to an elephant with 3 balls? You walk him and pitch to the rhino. We wanted something a little fun, a little tough, and I'm just thrilled at the way the site has taken off. We've interviewed a lot of different executives about how their teams use social media, such as Miami Heat, Sacramento Kings, Golden State Warriors, Houston Astros, people from EA Sports. We actually covered a Tampa Bay Rays baseball game a couple of weeks ago. Jarrett and myself, he took photos. I, went up and covered it in the press box and actually interviewed a fan during the 5th inning of the game who we found on Twitter. So couldn't be more excited with the way things are going right now.
All right, and I understand you got an event coming up too this weekend. You've got a horse racing event that we were talking a little bit about horse racing coming into this, and my wife is very much wanting me to take her to the Kentucky Derby so she can wear large hats. I know. There you go. See, that brings it right in with Beans and the tall hats, right?
That's all I want.
But I'm actually.
His wife, by the way.
Okay, well, no, but I'm going to be sending my producer down there this weekend to check out that event. So we're going to have some live coverage down there as well from our end of it. But why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on at Calder this weekend on Saturday?
Yeah, we're very excited about this. This is at Calder Racecourse at the Dade and Broward County line in South Florida. I think the city's Miami Gardens. What it is Race 5 this Saturday is officially known as the pitchtotherhino.com Classic. When the announcer introduces the race, he's going to say it. It's supposed to be on the screen there. Post time for that particular race is 2:56 p.m. And we've got a group of 15 people that are going with us, going to get to watch that race and really most of the races that day in the 4th floor clubhouse. When it comes time for our race, we're all going to get to go down on the track and watch the race from trackside. And then the very exciting part for all of us is that once the race is over, whoever wins the race, we as a group are going to get to go into the winner's circle and take our photo with the jockey and the winning horse. And I've been a big horse racing fan. In fact, to be honest, the first article I ever wrote for Pitch to the Rhino was about the South Florida pari-mutuel industry and how social media, in my opinion, could help save it. So I find it kind of ironic that one of our very first events that we're going out in the public involves horse racing and a race. So just thrilled with the people that we've invited. All big supporters of Pitch to the Rhino and everything we've been doing, and we really are looking forward to this Saturday. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm certainly looking forward to getting out there and seeing what's going on. I mean, like I said, I haven't been to a horse race since I was 7 years old. So, I mean, obviously this is going to be a little bit of a different experience. When I was 7, there was no such thing as social media. So to see the two interact, it'll give me, I guess, probably a little bit different perspective on this. And I guess that's probably one of the things you're kind of going for when you're trying to introduce that element into sports. Is that right?
Absolutely. What we found, and I think one of the reasons that Jose and I connected almost immediately when we first started talking about this, I'm a big Tampa Bay Rays fan. He's a big, I'd say, a Miami Hurricanes, college football fan. And we've noticed that, on things like Twitter, you put your hashtag on and you can follow all these people. I've made so many friends across the state of Florida that are Rays fans. I even, this past weekend, as a matter of fact, I took my son up to the Rays-Yankees game, and we met 3 people, that I've been communicating with on Twitter. So it's kind of, you're doing your own commentary, and it allows everybody to be their own sports fan. And we find that, the people that are engaged in social media from a sports perspective are typically, the team's biggest fans because they really, really care. The fact that you're taking time out of your schedule to tweet about something, a play that you didn't like, or a great touchdown, or whatever the case may be, it's just an awesome feeling to be part of that. And for this Saturday, it's not necessarily a tweet up per se, but I guarantee you that Jose, myself, and Jared will probably come up with a hashtag for that day, and in my opinion, there'll probably be more tweets from us about the couple hours we're there than the actual call they'll probably tweet out on a Saturday. So what we're hoping to do is help these tracks understand that, at the end of the day, you want to get younger fans. And the only way that horse racing and highlight and dog racing are going to survive in this country is to help lower the demographics. And I think social media is definitely one of the easiest avenues to do that.
It sounds like it's probably the most effective. You actually just stole my question. I was going to ask you if you did have a hashtag for the event. So good work on that one. I guess the other part of it too, something that a lot of folks maybe even if they're not on Twitter, or if they're on Twitter but they're not thinking of it in that aspect, that's a heck of a way to be able to communicate and talk to a lot of like-minded sports fans, in real time. So while the game is going on, you're right. You can complain about that call. You can complain about the play or the call, or wonder what the coach was thinking, or talk about that fumble or whatever it is that is going on in the game that you're watching, and you can put that out there to like-minded fans, even to the you can trash talk on Twitter, I guess, too, right?
Absolutely. I know for a fact that Augustina P, who's on Twitter, and she, she's a big Cowboys fan. I know she's trash talked with Redskins fans before. I know she did that last season. And you also brought up a great point. How many of us have ever gone to a sports bar and every single play somebody's cheering and somebody's upset? Now, if you can't make it to a sports bar, but you want to engage with other people, and you want, whether it's people that you're rooting for the same team, or you want to seek out people that are rooting for the other team and talk trash, or whatever the case may be, you've got the tools to do it, and it really makes for an enjoyable experience. We had a big Social Media Club South Florida panel a couple of weeks ago, and we were very fortunate down here in South Florida that all 4 of the professional sports teams, as well as the North American Soccer League, all participated in it. And it was an eye-opening experience for the 200 people that showed up, because it showed, the Miami Heat clearly are have a great track record. They've done tweet-ups. They're I feel like, in my personal opinion, they're a little bit more developed than everybody else at this point. The other teams are trying, and they're getting there. NASL does a great job. but it shows that all these teams are starting to make an effort to try and engage with these fans, and I think that the more that happens, the better we all will be.
Well, I think you're absolutely right, and I'm so stoked you called in, and like I said, I really can't wait to get out there this weekend. I want to encourage everyone that's listening to come out and check us out at Calder Racecourse, and of course, I want to also let everybody know they need to go to pitchtotherhino.com. That's the blog address. Toby, you with me, right?
Yes,
okay.
That's exactly right. Pitchtotherhino.com. We also have a Facebook page called Pitch to the Rhino, and for Twitter, what else but Pitch to the Rhino.
All right. Well, Toby, I want to thank you very much for calling in. I look forward to seeing you on Saturday. I'm sure we'll have a great time, and we'll have a lot to talk about from that event as well next week on the show. So that'll be great.
Sounds great. Look forward to it.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Toby.
All right. Have a good night. Talk to you later.
You too. Thanks.
Bye. All right. Bye.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, Toby from pitchtotherhino.com. We want to thank him for calling into the show. We do appreciate that, and of course, want to encourage all of you to check out the blog, and also to check out Pitch to the Rhino on Twitter and also on Facebook as well. And again, one more time, thanks to Toby, and hopefully we'll see a lot of you out there on Saturday at Calder. Okay, let's go ahead and let's move into one of the new segments from that. We're going to do a quick transition here. Let's go ahead and transition out. I want to do a little bit called Classic Jokes with New Punchlines. So one of the things I thought of was, we need to update the jokes as well to match what's going on with technology and with our society. A lot of these jokes have been around for a long time. Things change, right?
They sure do.
Okay. So we're going to go through here, and we're just going to give you some updates to the why did the chicken cross the road joke. Some of these, I'm going to warn you, may be a little painful, okay?
Do we need a chicken cross hashtag?
I wish we had one. Actually, we need to be on Twitter too, so we'll hook that up this week, and we'll be tweeting by next show. So, why did the chicken cross the road? She felt peckish.
She did indeed.
Okay. Why did the chicken cross the road? To be adopted by Angelina Jolie. No. Okay. Why did the chicken cross the road? To promote her new memoir, 8 Greasy Pieces.
That one I like.
I know. That one you do like. Why did the chicken cross the road? To escape the oil spill.
Topical.
Chased by Tony Hayward. Why did the chicken cross the road? Because Steven Seagal told it to.
I would do what he said.
I would as well. You better listen up, chicken. You don't want to end up like that white boy. You got to cross that road.
And then he used the grease for his hair.
That's right. And then you know what he did? He made the chicken cross the road so he could trap it and eat it. Yeah, he had to fry it.
Yeah.
Why did the chicken cross the road? To go and see the new Twilight movie. I don't know. Okay. They're not all winners. I said they're not all.
It's an emo chicken?
It's a
tween chicken?
It's a tween chicken. It's a 12-year-old girl chicken. Well, all chickens are girls, but.
I guess so.
All right. Why did the chicken cross the road? Was invited across the road on Facebook. Why did the chicken cross the road? Heard they were hiring over there. Topical and sad. Okay, let's get some funny ones here.
Back to sad.
I wish we had them. Okay. Why did the chicken cross the road? For the chance to hang with Gonzo.
I'm pretty sure Fozzie actually wrote these jokes.
Yeah, it's possible. There's our first Muppet reference. Okay.
Right there.
Oh, yep. Okay. Why did the chicken cross the road? To listen to our show. Why did the chicken cross the road? Because Al Gore was fondling him. Why did the chicken cross the road? To escape a coked-up Lindsay Lohan. Why did the chicken cross the road? One word, Fiesta. Why did the chicken cross the road? To Social Network. They're funnier if you say them quickly.
I don't know that they are.
I think they may be.
I think they're a little bit terrifying when you say them quickly.
Why did the chicken cross the road? She was chasing her own head. No? Okay. Why did the chicken cross the road? Felt like pooping someplace new. Why did the chicken cross the road? Needed better hiding spot for stolen 11 herb and spices recipe. No? You would think the chicken would just destroy that recipe, right?
You would think so.
But no, they wanted to cross the road and hide it. Okay. Why did the chicken cross the road? Because the chicken was a sex addict and was going to rehab. No? Okay. Why did the chicken cross the road? Because the dude abides. It's a big Lebowski throw in there. Okay. Why did the chicken cross the road? Couldn't pass up a chance to work with Spielberg. Some of these are good. Why did the chicken cross the road? Over there, gas is only $2 a gallon.
Okay, that one worked.
Okay. Why did the chicken cross the road? To escape the pressures of modern society puts on chickens to have large breasts. Why did the chicken cross the road? To dodge creditors. Why did the chicken cross the road? Needs a fresh start. Tired of being mistaken for a parakeet on roids. No? Okay. Why did the chicken cross the road? Tired of being teased by geese for having chicken legs. No? All right. And the last one, why did the chicken cross the road to start a coup d'etat? All right, like I said, they can't all be winners. But if you have an update...
I think you might have set a land speed record for chicken jokes.
I possibly could have. I think I did a few... I did a bunch real fast there.
You did a bunch of crystal meth, were you about to say?
No. God, no.
Oh, just checking.
No, I ate a bunch of fried chicken at Steven Seagal's house with Steve Buscemi and Joe Mantegna.
I would think that would make you logy, but you rocked right through those.
You know, they felt wrong as I was saying them, so I just thought I should say them as quickly as I...
I think they felt wrong when you were writing them.
Nothing feels wrong when I'm writing. Yeah, obviously there's no filter. But they felt wrong while I was saying them, but I just felt like if I say them fast enough, they may make for some funny radio. I think awkward and unfunny makes for funny radio sometimes, and I think that is a good example of awkward and unfunny.
You tell us. Give us a call. What's our number?
Our number is 347-326-9700, and we've got some lines open. So if you want to talk to us, call in, please. And you can suggest some punchlines to why did the chicken cross the road. You can give us some updated punchlines to that joke if you'd like. If you think you can improve the cantaloupe joke, call in on that. That's fine, too.
There was a joke there?
There was. I don't know where. It's missing. If you know where it is, call us. 347-326-9700. All right, so the next segment we're going to move to, we're going to do our week in history now, okay? Because ooh, I just threw something at you. So and you moved. Damn you. Okay, so last week we did the day in history, and we felt like it was a little limiting.
Just a touch.
You said that to me. You said I think that was limiting. We need to do it as a whole week, right?
I did.
So if this segment runs long and sucks,
that's my fault.
Okay. Although not really, because
#beans suck.
Right. Well, no, that's all right. It's going to be a great segment anyway, because a lot of really cool stuff happened this week in history. Although some of it's very depressing, and we're going to go right past the stuff that's generally depressing and stick with more of the fun. First of all, on August 1st, which is the beginning of the week, August 1st actually is my dad's birthday, so I want to say happy birthday to my dad.
So is that the depressing one?
No,
or is that the good one?
No, that's a great one. That's that's a great important one. Okay. Also, the same day that my dad was born, the first Jeep rolled off the assembly line.
Did he have anything to do with building it?
I don't
would be a good
don't think so, but it may explain why he's four-wheel drive.
That's good.
Yeah. So that was August 1st. Now, in addition, in 1914, obviously, the beginning of World War I happened on August 1st.
So it did.
Somewhat technically. I mean, there was, certain, it really depends on when you define when the war started, but for the most part, since that's when everyone was kind of declaring war on each other and war first got declared, that's pretty much acknowledged as the beginning of World War I. Now, a little bit more exciting about that, because 20 million people were killed as a result of World War I, and that doesn't even include the influenza outbreak, which was no doubt hastened by the situations in the trenches of 1918, but that's a whole other, yeah.
#influenza 1914.
1918, but yeah, so anyway, it was, yeah. Swine flu? We don't need no swine flu. We got Spanish influenza. We're old school. All right, anyway.
You just lost me.
I don't know. I think I lost myself. I don't know. We probably dropped a whole bunch of people, but that's fine. The other thing that happened, another interesting event, August 1st, in 1981 on this day, MTV premiered.
Nice.
MTV premiered.
Remember back when there was an MTV?
Yes, I remember when there were...
not just reruns of The Hills?
Yeah.
All that stuff in?
Not a bunch of crappy fake reality shows, but they had actual music on MTV at one time, kids. It was quite good.
Even what the M stands for. They seem to have forgotten that.
Yes. Now, apparently when it first came out, it was available, when it first premiered, it was available only to a few households in parts of New Jersey.
Weird.
Very strange. Although, it does explain a lot of the hair that was featured in the first 10 videos that were shown on MTV, which we're gonna talk about.
I guess because wherever in New Jersey that was like the nexus for Aquanet.
Probably.
The Aquanexus, if you will.
There you go, the Aquanexus. That's where we're at. And so, I mean, MTV obviously has become sort of a defining, it's a cultural icon for us.
Of course it is.
Right? I mean, you know,
even today, even now that it's all reality shows, I mean,
people still,
it's still MTV.
right. I mean, I still think of MTV as being the MTV I watched when I was, you know, a kid that had music videos, and that's where you saw the cool music videos, and, you know, they played stuff that didn't necessarily get played on the radio as much, which was cool. So, all right, the first 10 videos on MTV. First 10 videos. And I'm sure everybody knows what these are, right?
I know the first one. That's all I got.
You know the first one. Give us the first one.
That'd be Video Killed the Radio Star by the Buggles.
That is absolutely correct.
Later covered by the President of the United States of America. Damn good song.
Yep, and that was Trevor Horn, actually, who was in that band. And he also went to play with Yes and The Art of Noise.
Nice.
Yeah. So good one. All right, now the next question would be, obviously, what's the second video?
I don't have the slightest idea.
Does anyone out there? 347-326-9700. Somebody knows. I know. I'm going to tell you, but I want you to call me and tell me. 347-326-9700, and I want you to tell me what you were doing if you remember actually watching it live.
But if you were there for the first video, wouldn't you have had to have been in one of those households in New Jersey?
There's a remote possibility that someone out there listening was in one of those households in New Jersey.
I think we have a better possibility of Joe Mantegna calling you.
Or Steve Buscemi. Or Lorenzo Music.
Him, I don't think we have much of a possibility.
Yeah, I know, he's dead, but I still think we have a better possibility of him contacting us from beyond the grave than actually having someone who was watching the first broadcast of MTV in New Jersey, suburban New Jersey, calling our radio show.
We do have a Ouija board in here somewhere, don't we?
We do. And it frightens me. It frightens me.
But if you use it, you can talk to Lorenzo Music.
Possibly.
You can speak with Garfield.
We could, although we could just call Bill Murray. He wouldn't talk to us about Garfield anyway.
No, I don't think he would.
Yeah. So, all right. 347-326-9700. I'll go ahead and give you the second video. I will give you the second video, and this is appropriate because if Steven Seagal is ever coming your way, this is exactly what you should do. It's Pat Benatar. You better run.
You better run.
You better run.
I like
You better
Pat
run.
Benatar, and I don't remember that song. That makes me sad.
Patricia May and a last name that I cannot pronounce. Andruski, but spelled like
Boy, does she need to buy a vowel.
Zejewski. So, yeah, Pat Benatar works. I think that's a better rock name, right?
So,
Pat Benatar was the bomb, dude. She was
awesome.
great. And you'll notice there's a specific theme which is kind of interesting about MTV, and we'll talk about it too, in that 2 of the first 10 videos were actually pretty hard rockin' ladies. They were pretty hard rockin' ladies who had those videos, which that's pretty cool. I mean, that's good rep for MTV. Although I don't notice any R&B acts in here. I don't see any.
People used to rock before auto-tune.
Yeah. Right, that's true. All right. Anyway, so number 3, third video on MTV, Rod Stewart. She Won't Dance. So Rod Stewart was almost 40 when MTV came on anyway. Just interesting to know that Rod Stewart's really old. He was already not old then, but you know,
that would mean he's almost 70 now, which is weird because I would have sworn he was pushing 112. Have you seen him lately? He looks like the Crypt Keeper.
That's what plastic surgery does to you. That's why you should never have plastic surgery.
He looks like John Cassier should be doing his voice.
Once you start, it never stops.
Come to think of it, he sounds like John Cassier is doing his voice. Yeah.
Well, again, that's what plastic surgery will do to you. Sorry, Rod Stewart. Actually, he lives down here.
Does he?
Yeah, he does. And I will say this, and you know, I'm sorry Rod Stewart's not looking the best these days. Again, he's pushing 70, so you got to cut him some slack there. But my understanding is he's extremely, extremely nice, and he's a very nice man.
I'm sure he is. You know who does look good?
Since I'm insulting him, I better put a little, little sugar on that.
You know who's looking and sounding good right now?
Who's that?
Don Henley.
Oh, God. All right, so number 4, the fourth video was The Who. The Who! The Who! The Who! The Who had a video on MTV. The fourth video, it surprised me too. That's why I said The Who like 100 times.
Which song?
You Better, You Bet.
Okay.
Yep. Kenny Jones on drums instead of Keith Moon.
Well, I mean, at this point, they should be called The Who's Left.
Yeah, there's not. It's pretty sad. That's. Roger Daltrey will never call us, and Pete Townsend couldn't hear what we're saying anyway. So
I wouldn't really worry about it.
Yeah. All right, so number 5, and this is, okay, the Buggles, everyone knows who they are because it's the first video on MTV.
Really just because of that.
But that's
can
the only.
name another Buggles song?
Right, that's the only reason. No, can
the Buggles name another Buggles song?
No, it's like the Charlie Daniels Band. They have, that song, "The Devil Went Down to Georgia." That other song, "The Devil Went Down to Georgia." Again, same damn song. It's hard to write a hit song. If you don't believe that, watch Garth Brooks try to sell his soul to Will Ferrell as the devil on SNL. You'll see. Devil can't write no love song.
True.
That was not the fifth video on MTV, by the way. The fifth video on MTV, 347-326-9700, if anyone wants to call in,
and think about their Slack,
is by Tesla. Or, excuse me, not Tesla. Excuse me. It's PhD. Little Susie's on the Up.
I was going to say, I didn't think Tesla was around in 1991.
No, apparently the video we have for it is Tesla covering the song because there's literally no video in existence anymore that can be found, or the song even, of PhD.
Broadcasting in Kinescope?
I have no idea, but apparently it's impossible to find the actual PhD version of Little Susie.
Are you sure they weren't on
Little Susie's up on top?
They weren't on the Dumont network?
I have Little Susie's on the top, on the up. I keep screwing up the song. I guess it doesn't matter.
Because no one can hear it anyway.
That's right. It's just,
unless they're a Tesla fan.
Right, and that's highly unlikely. 347-326-9700. Gosh, I hope Tesla doesn't call us now.
I'm looking at your list, and you know who wasn't among these 10?
Who?
Don Henley.
Don Henley is not. No, not at all. There's a reason. Number 6, Cliff Richard. We don't talk anymore. There's a reason that they don't. There's a reason you don't talk anymore, Cliff Richard. It's because you had the 6th video on MTV.
Okay, I don't even know who that is.
Once again, yeah, no one does. I think Cliff Richard's hanging out with Tesla, actually. And maybe the former members of The Who. I don't know. Number 7, The Pretenders, Brass in Pocket.
A rockin' lady-fronted band.
Yes, extremely. And Chrissie Hynde, if you don't think she was the awesome rock chick of the 80s, then you're probably crazy.
I mean, probably.
And actually, the video itself was such a great video.
It was.
Such a great video.
Is that the one where they're all nurses?
Yes, I believe that is correct. She goes walking down the street. I mean, she's sexy as a nurse, and it's hot. It's just a rocking song. It's a great song. So it all works, and it's really one of the more famous videos that MTV ever aired, and they aired it in Magic Number 7, Lucky Number 7, and it was definitely the best of these 10 videos that we're going to mention because we're about to fall right off a cliff with 8, 9, and 10. Number 8, yes, that's right, your old buddy, Todd Rundgren, with Time Heals.
I vaguely remember Todd Rundgren.
Todd Rundgren to me is memorable only from that 70s show because he's always referenced in that 70s show. And actually, kicking back to another George story, when he and I were first working together, we worked at a giant video store. I'm not going to tell you what video store it was, but if you have a RIP ticket and it's blue and yellow, you'll figure it out. There you go. I'm not advertising for those bastards.
Goodbye, sponsors.
Right. So I'm not advertising for them, and they're bankrupt anyway. But we, for like 2 weeks in a row, every day this same guy came in and kept asking us, do you have any Todd Rundgren videos? And we kept telling him, no, Mort Goldman, we have no Todd Rundgren videos. There's not one video in this place of Todd Rundgren. Get out. We don't have one. And he would come back every day for like 2 weeks.
You gotta have hope.
But repeatedly throughout the day, not just once. He would repeatedly throughout the day. Do you have any Todd Rundgren videos?
What is life without hope?
Do you have any Todd Rundgren? I hate Don Henley. Do you have any Todd Rundgren videos?
It's possible you could have gotten one in. There are shipments.
Never. It never happened. It never happened. And also, the other thing that's interesting to me about Todd Rundgren for why he would be memorable to our generation, I'm skipping right past that, would be that actually Liv Tyler thought that he was her father for many, many years.
I never knew that.
Until she found out that Steven Tyler was her real dad, she thought Todd Rundgren was her father.
She found out by the fact that she looked in the mirror and saw Steven Tyler, because it's strange. Normally kids grow up to look like their parents, but he has devolved to the point where he looks more like her every day. And that horrifies me.
If that were the case for me, I would look in a mirror and masturbate every single minute of every single day if I looked like Liv Tyler.
Goodbye, rest of our listeners.
Who, by the way, we would love to get on the show as well. Yeah, whatever. They're not offended by that. And if they are, I don't know what to tell them. All right, look, I guess we're going to finish this up real quick because we got another call coming in. number 9, REO Speedwagon, Take It on the Run.
I enjoy the REO.
I love REO Speedwagon, and it wouldn't be the 80s without REO Speedwagon.
That is true.
And also, number 10, everybody's favorite band to hate, Styx, Rockin' the Paradise. Now, okay.
You can't really hate Styx.
No, well, that's why I say it's everybody's favorite, favorite band to hate, although I don't hate Styx. Mr. Roboto is great. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. That's the only Japanese anyone knows.
Gotta love Sail Away.
I do love Sail Away. We got a call coming in. Let's take this one. Caller, you're on.
Hey, how you doing there?
We're doing great. How you doing?
Hey, this is Hank Hill.
Hank Hill, huh?
Yeah. If I'm Hank Hill, you know what that makes you, don't it?
Yeah, that makes me Bobby.
Well, I have to tell you, son, you got to quit crocheting them doilies. I got so damn many of them things around the house that I just really don't want any more of those doilies.
Well, I promise you I will stop knitting doilies.
Crocheting, son,
crocheting doilies.
I want to call sooner, but you may or may not know the power's been out of my neighborhood until just now.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I know you was missing me.
Well, I love when you call the show.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you heard earlier I mentioned that it was your birthday.
No, I haven't heard the show at all. I just called in from my easy chair.
Okay, all right. Well,
we're us old guys sitting in our easy chairs and wake up,
Happy birthday for earlier this week, anyway.
There you go.
Thanks a lot. Is that Beans?
That is Beans.
Hey, Beans.
We're right in the middle of our week in history. And so you're part of that week in history because you were born August 1st. Yeah. And I mentioned the Jeep, that the Jeep rolled out the same day. That's why you're 4-wheel drive, right?
Yeah.
And so we're in the middle. Well, we're in the middle of it, but I have a Navy-themed item up next that you may not be aware of, and because of the Naval Academy, I think you'll like this one. On this day in 1943, PT-109 was sunk.
No kidding.
So last week we had a naval-themed event in history with McCain, right, on the Forstall. Now we have one with John F. Kennedy.
Dang, so presidential to me.
Well, I think so. And in 1943, a Japanese destroyer rammed PT-109. Yeah. Okay, it's a patrol torpedo boat is what a PT boat was.
I know what a PT is.
I know, you know, you were in the Navy. You were in the Navy. I'm talking to everyone that doesn't know. But it got sliced completely in two, and the destruction was so massive that the other PT boats in the area just assumed everyone was dead, even though they weren't. 11 survived. 11 members of that survived. 11 members of the crew survived, including Kennedy, who swam. All the survivors, they all swam to an island, and he did the whole famous coconut shell and all that. That was on August 1st. So how about that?
How many of them did he make sweet love to?
I don't know, but I do know that according to Weird Al Yankovic. What's that?
How many of them were breathing?
I believe I don't know. I don't know, but I do know. I don't know.
How many were dead?
Well, I don't know how many were dead. Well, two crewmen died.
I was addressing Bean's question, actually.
Oh, what's your question there, Beans?
I was asking how many of them Mr. Kennedy made sweet love to.
All of them.
All of the above.
Even the dead ones.
Yeah.
And if they were half, both halves.
Okay, that's just gross.
There go the rest of our listeners. All right, so this week seems to be a military-themed week. We've got the World War I. We've got the PT-109. Also on this day, Iraq invaded Kuwait for the first time. Yep. That did not work out so well for them.
How'd that work out?
Well for Iraq on that one.
Hashtag bad idea.
Yeah, really bad idea.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Possibly the most lopsided war in the history of wars.
Yeah. Well, it could be.
What's going on up there in the neighborhood besides the power being out?
Well, we had this big thunderstorm come rolling through this afternoon. It started about 2:30. My rule of thumb is if you hear thunder, it's time to get the hell under cover.
I agree. And you know what? I got to tell you, I think I hear some thunder.
You better get under cover then, boy.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. But I'm going to say thank you for calling in. I do love you. I can say that on the air to my father. That's
you can say that.
my dad.
And I like and respect you very much.
Yeah, well, I appreciate all that, but like I said, no more of them doilies, okay?
Okay, we agree.
Keep up the good work.
All right, we will.
Talk with you later.
All right, Dad.
Bye.
Take care, sir.
All right, so let's go. Okay, so week in history, all right? Iraq invaded Kuwait. We covered that. Delegates signed the Declaration of Independence.
Yay, independence.
Yep. Yay, independence is right. 56 congressional delegates in total signed the document.
Hashtag Hancock.
Which would be the greatest hashtag ever.
Except for that Will Smith movie. That's going to confuse people now.
See, but it's actually, well, okay. Yeah, we'll just move on from that. All right. Also, on August 2nd, Hitler became Fuhrer. We've got to mention that because it happened.
Hashtag very bad idea.
Worst idea ever.
There you go.
Wild Bill Hickok was killed.
Dead man's hand.
1876, the aces and the eights.
He was holding a bad hand.
Very bad hand. August 3rd, Columbus set sail for the New World. Then came here and started all that genocide business. Calling back to last week, The Spy Who Loved Me premiered in 1977 on August 3rd.
Mr. Bond!
Turn off this disco music, Mr. Bond, and drop me in a smokestack to kill me.
Mr. Bond.
Also in 1996, The Macarena hit #1.
It did?
In August 3rd, 1996. This is a black day in history.
Do you have a time machine lying around so
I
can
wish.
Stop that?
I wish. We would, if we knew Dr. Brown, that's the first place we would go.
That really is.
We would stop Los Del Rio from ever making that song.
That is possibly the worst thing that ever happened. You know what? Move that above the Fuhrer thing. That's really bad.
Nah, I don't know about that. All right.
Maybe not.
Okay, now, the next one, and we're going to get this is going to go a little bit more serious because of the nature of it, but it's something that's important to talk about, and it ties in with the Hitler becoming Fuhrer.
Does it tie in with the Macarena?
No, it does not. Their stories are
with the Macarena?
No, their stories are intertwined. Anne Frank was captured in 1944 on August 4th, and obviously you guys all know the story of Anne Frank. If you don't, you better figure it out and go learn what it is.
And go back to junior high because that's when they made you read the book.
Right, exactly. I will say this. I've actually been fortunate enough to go to the Anne Frank house. I've been in the Anne Frank house, and it is really, really something to see. It's a warehouse. It's a warehouse right on the canal, right on the Prinsengracht Canal, which is the Prince's Canal. It's one of the 3 main canals in Amsterdam, and it's right there in the 260 block, and it's just a warehouse that her father had converted a space in the back of it to, obviously to hide the family. Everyone knows the whole story, but it's one thing to read the book, it's another thing to see the movie, all that kind of stuff, but to really go there and see the space that this happened in and where they hid for so long, and it was not just her and her family, it was 2 full families and another man, that adult man that lived there, and they were silent for years. And obviously for me, major problem with that. I would have lasted not even 5 minutes. Not even 5 minutes. So if you ever get the chance to go see the Anne Frank house, go see it. And if you want to see some German tourists really, really freaking humble, seriously humble and embarrassed, go to the Anne Frank house and watch the Germans walk through.
I figure that's a way to humble a German.
It is. All right, so let's move on from that.
Hashtag humble German.
Because in 1936, on that same day, Jesse Owens won the long jump in Berlin, one of his 4 gold medals that he won in 1936 in Berlin.
It's a hell of a jump.
It's an amazing jump, and what people don't know is that after he won that medal, he actually went around the track arm in arm with the German champion that he had defeated.
I did not.
They did a victory lap together around the track. Not a lot of people know that, but Jesse Owens, about as classy as it gets. And again, what a great moment it would have been to be there, just to see that, just to see what happened. That would have been something I would have loved to have watched. And then of course get the hell out of Germany at that point.
But of course it was 1936, so you didn't really have the option of being.
Well, if we were talking about having Doc Brown in his time machine and going all around, that would be, Also, 1892, Lizzie Borden killed her parents.
Bummer.
With a hatchet, with an axe, and she got away with it. She got away with it. She got away with it despite the fact that they found her blood-stained dress that was half burned in the basement, next to the murder weapon that had her obvious bloody handprints all over it. Although at the time they didn't really believe in fingerprinting, although they were using it in England at the time.
The CSIs weren't much at that point.
David Caruso had not even showed up. There were no glasses.
I don't think those sunglasses were even invented yet.
The Who wasn't even around. That's how long ago it was.
Well, Townsend was.
Right.
Daltrey, yeah, actually.
No? Was it?
I think the Who was around.
Were they?
Yeah.
But they still couldn't have done the theme song.
Probably.
All right. 40, well, everyone knows the rhyme. 40 whacks and then, yeah. Jeez. August 5th, day in history, Marilyn Monroe, found dead, 1962.
Not a good day for Marilyn Monroe.
Nope, not at all. August 5th, 1981, Ronald Reagan fires 11,359 air traffic controllers and begins a war on unionized labor. That was a sad day. And then you know what we did? You know what genius thing we did after that? We named a freaking airport after him. That was smart.
Not to mention our turnpike now.
Yeah, the turnpike I don't have as much of an issue with because he didn't fire 11,359 turnpike workers, but he did fire 11,359 air traffic controllers and essentially dissolve the air traffic controller union. So I don't think naming an airport after him is necessarily the best idea.
Does it count that it's not a very good airport?
No. Although you're right, it is definitely the second-class airport for D.C. It is not a good airport. August 6th, Lyndon Johnson signed the Voting Rights Act 1965. In 1945.
Which is slightly worse than the Macarena.
Much worse than the Macarena.
Slightly worse.
Macarena never killed anybody.
I think that's debatable.
There may have been an accident here or there, but it's not the same magnitude. John Hughes died August 6th, 2009. John Hughes, the director of The Breakfast Club, Home Alone. No, that was Chris Columbus. He produced it. He produced it. Sorry.
I believe he wrote it.
Curly Sue.
See, I hate to think that he went out on Curly Sue.
That's why I brought it up.
That
I wanted to get you riffing against Curly Sue.
I've actually never seen all of Curly Sue. I got about 20 minutes in and moved on with the rest of my life.
Wow. How can you turn off a James Belushi movie?
Well, it turns out it's pretty easy.
Yeah,
because I could not make it through Curly Sue.
But
I've probably seen The Breakfast Club more than I've seen just about any other movie.
You know what would have made Curly Sue a lot better?
Judd Nelson?
No. If Todd Rundgren had done the soundtrack.
That's also true.
Or if they had put Cliff Richard or Baby PhD on there. Maybe some Styx. How about that? How about Styx doing the soundtrack for Curly Sue? No? Does that not work? That doesn't redeem it? All right.
I don't know that James Belushi movies can be redeemed. Maybe The Principal. I've always enjoyed that.
Okay. It had Louis Gossett Jr. in it. It was not bad, but okay. I thought Red Heat wasn't terrible. His movie with Arnold.
I watched that again recently, and it turns out it was not a very good movie at all.
Well, I think I was like 13 when that movie came out.
And when you're 13, I'm sure it's a great movie. Try watching it again.
Yeah, probably
I defy you to get more than 40 minutes in without going, never mind. I've got laundry to do.
Keep in mind, this is a guy who sat through the entire Romeo and Juliet movie without...
So have I. I could watch it twice.
You know what? That's who we need to get on the show. Jane Jensen. That will tell you how we think about that movie. The two different approaches we take to the same film. You know who we should get on the show? The hot chick, the producer. Okay,
The guy who gave us Trauma.
Well, Jane Jensen also made an album called Comic Book Whore, which I thought was pretty interesting and good. It was a pretty good album. And
never heard of that, but I think I need to go home and download it.
She was kind of like, she did the I'm an angry...
Legally, by the way.
Well, yeah, she did the I'm an angry rock chick about a year before Alanis Morissette caught on to that gig.
How long before Kanye West did it?
I don't know, but I do know that, I'm not even going to go there. I'm not even going to say that. We know what Kanye's favorite food is, and that's all that's going to be said, because I don't want him coming after me the way he did Carlos Mencia in that episode. Although, thanks for doing that to Carlos Mencia. Please do it in real life. Okay.
These are for those just tuning in.
I'm just kidding. We don't want violence on anyone. All right, so we're going to flip through. We're going to transition into our final segment here. We got about 45 minutes left. So we're going to...
What's the final segment?
We're going to get into our final segment, because this is where the gold happens. This is where we got the gold last time.
We got gold?
We got rhinestones.
Well, the jazzles aren't exactly... they don't have to be gold.
They could be gold.
They should be gold.
I'm just looking at you, man, because I don't even know what to say to that. All right. Okay, so, well, look, if you're going to have a grill, you might as well have a Jill, right? I mean...
Jill.
I don't know what else would you call it.
I think you just patented something.
A great accessory for...
That's exactly what you should call it.
I just invented the new... I just invented the new hoo-ha treatment. The new in-hoo-ha treatment is courtesy of Frank the Unicorn.
That's right.
It's the Jill. You don't know what it is. It's like a grill for your Jill. It's a Jill. Anyway, we're going to read the do's and don'ts.
Someone is going to steal that, and they're going to be a multi-billionaire.
Well, you know what? Then we're gonna sue them because we podcast, so we can prove when this show came on. Okay. And thank you, Glamour, for inspiring us. So, okay, Glamour. Okay.
Why are there kittens on the cover?
Well, I don't know why there are kittens on the cover. Okay, and especially when the main headline is "Sexiest Jeans for Your Body," and then there's kittens.
And there's a lady holding two kittens.
Right.
I don't even know who this is.
This is yes, it's Vanessa Hudgens.
I don't know.
She's famous for being in High School Musical and having naked pictures on the internet. That's what she's famous for. Really.
I'm a grown-up
and I
have
think
no idea who she is.
Yeah. Well, I know this because
High School Musical passed me by.
Yeah. Well, when you have friends that have kids and they have birthday parties, at least over the previous few years, they were usually High School Musical themed. Gotcha. So that's where it comes in. And then all right. So she's on the cover, which right away, to me, lets me know that this might be a better experience than Cosmo, because Cosmo that we had Britney Spears on the cover.
But also, she looks like she's wearing that behind the mask. She's got like a Phantom of the Opera mask look going on.
Well, yeah, they really airbrushed the crap out of her cheeks. I mean,
what that is?
Yeah, that's definitely, yeah. No natural human looks that way.
No, they don't.
No, that's definite Photoshop. In fact, these kittens may not even be real. They could be puppies. They could be puppies airbrushed to look like kittens. I don't know.
But could they be laser cats?
Could they be laser cats? You know what? I don't know. They could be laser cats. I would love it if they were.
I will subscribe to this magazine tonight if those are laser cats.
You know, that's the movie
if
they need.
If anyone who works for Glamour Magazine is listening, give me a call. Let me know if those are laser cats. If so, you just won yourself a subscriber.
You know what? You got two, because I'll subscribe too.
That's right.
As long as there's a promise of future laser cats contained in or on Glamour Magazine on the cover or inside. Okay. So it's a different animal completely reading Glamour. It's not at all like Cosmopolitan, except that it's basically the same magazine without all the sex stuff. It's without the quizzes and the sex talk. But it's otherwise, it's very similar, okay?
Well, if there's no quiz, what's the point?
Well, okay, but we have things like, we have some other great stuff in here that we can talk about. Like, for example, do's and don'ts, the news and views, okay? So Glamour's quick take on everything seen, heard, noted, and quoted. First question. And I definitely want to get some perspective on this from callers. If you're out there listening, call in 347-326-9700. You're going to let us know if you think these are do's or don'ts, or if you agree with what we're saying or you disagree. Whatever. 347-326-9700. Okay.
Hashtag everyone disagrees.
Okay. First one. Is it a do or a don't? Retro denim vests. Do or don't? 55% of Glamour readers say they're a do.
I think I would have to say they're a do because I've seen The Legend of Billie Jean probably, 395 times. And I had the
biggest crush on
Helen Slater crush.
Everyone had.
And she was all jean vested out.
Yeah. Christian Slater made that movie specifically because he had a crush on Helen Slater. And no, they're not related, by the way.
And I don't blame him.
Of course, he was like 12, and he played her little brother.
Is that movie even on DVD? I haven't seen it.
I have no idea. I really don't.
I don't own that.
But you know what's weird? I always, for some reason, associate the movie poster of The Legend of Billie Jean with the movie poster for Perfect. Why? I have no idea. Maybe because Jamie Lee Curtis has the short hair and similar haircut. Is that it?
Did Pat Benatar sing that song at the end of Legend of Billie Jean? I think she might have.
I think it's very possible. If you are Pat Benatar, or you know if she sang that song at the end of that film, 347-326-9700. All right, so they say, you say they're a do. I say they're a don't. I say denim should only, anything above the waist that's denim, any shirt, any jacket, any vest, if it's denim, should only be worn by Canadians in Canada. That's it. And you have to be full Canadian. You have to have Canadian parents. You have to be legitimately Canadian to wear a denim shirt or denim vest or denim jacket, or God forbid, all of them at the same time.
What about overalls? Do farmers have to be Canadian in
No,
Canada?
no. Farmers
What
can
do
wear...
you have against farmers?
I have nothing against farmers, sir.
Okay.
Farmers can wear overalls, which are denim, or could be corduroy, or some other material.
Well, they're mostly going to be denim.
But you're not going to see a farmer rocking a denim vest for fashion.
But why not? Maybe we could get some fashionable farmers. We can save the industry.
347-326-9700. I don't know that it has a lot to do with what they're wearing, but...
If they're growing cotton.
Okay, so changing dresses at your wedding. I have no concept on this. It's 58% say it's a do.
People change their dresses at their wedding?
Well, they have a wedding dress. The bride would have a wedding dress.
Of course she does. It's her friggin' wedding.
Right, but then for the reception, she would change into her reception dress.
If the reception's the next day, maybe. Other than that, no. That's the stupidest thing I've heard in my life.
I think it's a bad idea because it just increases the cost of the wedding, which is already ridiculously expensive.
But forget about cost. The whole point is that, you're in your wedding dress. It's not like you get to wear it again. What? Well, I mean,
unless you're Wendy Liebman and you think that's funny for your stand-up act.
But still,
for 20 years straight. Come up with some new material. Hello. All right. Sorry.
I really watch Wendy Liebman. Don't know.
Well,
but anyway, I
think that's who it was.
That's really
God, I hope so. If it's not, call in. I don't know. 347-326-9700.
You know who it was who wore the wedding dress for their act? Don Henley.
Don Henley.
A lot of people don't know that either.
Yeah. Okay. Men in kilts. I have an opinion on this. 65% say it's a don't. I think that's...
I'd have to agree unless they're a Highlander.
Yes, unless you're in Scotland and you're Scottish, then you can wear a kilt. Otherwise, no. Or if you're Scottish and you're going to a formal event like a wedding or such that is Scottish themed and it's appropriate for you to wear a kilt, that's okay. Or if you're Sean Connery, that's okay. Or if you're Axl Rose, that's okay. If you are not Axl Rose or Sean Connery or Craig Ferguson, because I'm going to give you a pass, or Mike Myers in So I Married an Axe Murderer, or Scottish in Scotland, or Scottish going to a formal event, hell no, you should not be wearing a kilt.
So I have to go change?
That's not a kilt. That's a dress, and that's totally acceptable. They don't make kilts in leather. Do they? Do they make leather kilts? I don't know.
If they don't, they will now. That's a better idea than whatever denim nonsense I was thinking about.
Yeah? Do you think the leather, you know what would be the best?
Kilt?
The leather kilt with a Jill. That'd be, you couldn't get better. Okay.
I'd read that movie.
This one's a pretty, even if it starred Sharon Stone?
Especially if it starred Sharon.
Like Sharon Stone now, not Sharon Stone 94.
You know, I have no concept of what Sharon Stone looks like now.
Remember that whole thing about the Crypt Keeper?
I skipped Basic Instinct.
Put a wig.
Too, so.
Put a wig on the Crypt Keeper.
That's a little bit horrifying.
Well, okay, that's probably a little bit harsh. I'm sorry. Put a wig on Rod Stewart. Oh, that's even meaner. Okay, I'm sorry, Rod Stewart. It's not fair to pick on you. It's really not. We're going to do it anyway.
And I'm sorry, Sharon Stone, because she's nuts and she will cut you.
Apparently. But, I don't know. I'm not worried about Sharon Stone. I think it'll be very easy to confuse her, so I don't have any problem.
I honestly don't think I've seen Sharon Stone in 10 years, so I have no idea what she looks like right now. Sharon Stone could walk into this room, and I would not know who she is, and I'd wonder how she got here.
Unless she sat down on a chair and opened her legs, and then crossed them again. Then you would know.
Goodbye again, listeners.
That's her move.
So close.
Well, that's what she's known for. That's what she's famous for. Come on. All right, anyway, bringing your laptop to the beach. 85% say it's a don't. I say it's a don't. Why the hell would you bring a laptop to a beach?
I can't even imagine.
I mean, it's just so pointless. What the hell do you need a laptop to the beach for?
And sand gets in everything.
Right.
Listen to Anakin.
Okay, so yeah, you're going to take your laptop up to a place that's got sand and water. That's really smart to take that there.
Good idea.
But
people have to see you working in public, otherwise they don't know you're important.
That's true.
That's why you bring your laptop to Starbucks. So people can see that you're a writer.
And we're ripping off Family Guy.
Who's writing?
Ooh yeah, baby. All right.
Is that from?
There's a whole bit about being a writer at Starbucks, and it only counts if someone watches you what you're writing, watches you write what you're writing.
Never saw it, but it irritates me all the time.
It's just come on, man. It's ridiculous. If you have nowhere else to do that other than Starbucks, that's pretty sad.
Yeah.
All right, so
we're
going to move on, and we're going to talk about, first of all, no, I don't want to do that one. I don't want to talk about a G-spot. There's nowhere to go from there.
Really? Because we have like 40 minutes to fill, so I think you might want to go back there.
No, we got 36, but okay, so here...
Okay.
Let's do this, because there's some positive stuff in here, too. The countdown, okay? This is 6 fabulous firsts by women. This is an interesting thing to know. This is good to know. Okay. Number 1, liquid paper, invented by a woman. Texas typist Betty Naismith Graham used white paint to cover her mistakes, leading to her 1950s invention. So basically, she probably took that same paint, put it in a smaller jar, and watered it down, and you have whiteout.
There you go.
Essentially, right? But come on, that's a pretty cool thing to think about. Think about how life would be without whiteout.
I can't imagine now that we have delete keys. I haven't used whiteouts in 7th grade.
Kids couldn't huff in the hallways, man. You know?
They're still ready whip.
That's true. All right, number 2, the flat-bottomed brown paper bag. Margaret Knight created
I never thought of the fact that someone had to invent that. I kind of thought that just happened.
It's like, you know, someone did have to come up with it. There had to be a first brown paper bag. They didn't just evolve. They didn't just exist, you know?
I feel like they did. I had no idea someone had to come up. It's like someone wrote Happy Birthday. I never knew that.
Yes, sisters actually wrote Happy Birthday. In 1888, I believe, or 89.
That I could not tell.
Yeah, it was 2 sisters.
I know it's Mildred and Patty Hill. That's all I know.
Okay. Gee, I wonder if they're related to Hank and Bobby. Okay, no.
Well, let's have them call back and find out.
The smallpox vaccine.
Wait, what? Go back to the paper bag. Tell me what's the story behind the paper bag.
Margaret Knight created the paper.
Decided paper bag.
She created the flat-bottomed brown paper bag in the 1870s.
Was she an alchemist?
I don't know. I'm assuming she probably worked in a general store, or she had a general store. She was a merchant of some kind, or I don't know.
A bag merchant.
But when you think about what life was like for a woman in 1870, for her to invent something so useful and common now, it's pretty cool. I mean, you know, women probably didn't have a lot of opportunities in the 1870s. Inventing something like that's pretty awesome.
It is.
You know, smallpox vaccine.
Which you can keep in a little paper bag. It stands up by itself.
Yes, you can, and you can cover the
white out in there.
I was just going to say you could white out the label if you wanted to. Lady Mary Wortley Montagu saved lives by bringing the Turkish folk remedy back home to England, and then of course was very sad about the situation with Romeo and Juliet.
What was her name again?
Lady Mary Wortley Montagu.
Okay, forget Sputnik. That's my kid's first name.
Lady Mary Wortley Montagu?
He is going to be a great kid.
He is going to be picked on. It's Osweepe! All right. Bomb diffusing robots. Helen Grenier co-founded iRobot, the company that PackBot has dismantles countless explosives in Iraq. So, okay, that's cool. DNA. Rosalind Franklin had a pivotal role.
She did not create DNA.
Well, okay, no, she didn't. You're right. Okay.
The woman invented DNA and the paper bag.
She had a pivotal role in mapping the double helix in the 50s.
Oh, mapping.
Mapping is not the same as inventing.
Because she knew to stop to ask for directions.
Oh my God, I cannot.
Scientists couldn't do that.
And that's a perfect time to give the call-in number 347-326-9700. That was a good one. Spanx, invented by women. Of course, men don't wear Spanx.
They do now. They have Manx.
Which is just, dude, just do some sit-ups. Go to a gym, whatever. You're a guy. You don't need to wear Manx. You don't need to wear fancy compressive underwear. Come on. Jeez, come on.
They go great with kilts.
I mean, I think that, okay, Sarah Blakely invented Spanx. Good for her. We love it. It's great. It's trickery, but it's fine. You know.
Trickery. Trickery and deception.
What else would you call it? Spanx in a padded bra could very much surprise you. I mean, you could be shocked. You could be shocked.
You sound like you're speaking from experience.
I am, actually. Not a bad experience. Good experience. Okay, so the next bit we're going to get to in Glamour. Oh, they do have Spanx for men. You're right. That's just awful. I nearly fell out of my chair. All right. Let's see. Okay. Your most embarrassing sex moments and how to survive them. Dare we go here?
I think we dare.
Dare we? Okay. The disaster. Your hot and heavy date is about to discover your secret Spanx. I swear to God, that's what it says.
Wait, it says your secret Spanx?
Or chicken cutlets.
What does that mean?
I think I know what that is.
No idea
let me ask the only female in the room, who is our producer, is adorable. Can you please tell us what chicken cutlets are?
Sure. Chicken cutlets are the kind of plastic, rubbery sort of raw inserts. that you place inside of your bra, kind of underneath your breast, and it lifts what you have and adds more inches to what you don't have.
I'm wearing them now, and I had no idea they had a name.
They do. They're called chicken cutlets.
I can see that.
That could cause a lot of confusion. They need to come up with a better name for those, because that could really cause problems.
Well, they're not their technical names. But
Okay, that's just what everybody.
Slang name.
Okay, that's their slang.
They look like raw chicken.
Okay.
Very sexy.
And that,
raw.
yeah, that's exactly what I want to see when I'm doing that.
Raw chicken?
Raw chicken, yeah.
Wouldn't be the first time.
That's appealing.
That's why the chicken
Fair
crossed
enough.
the road.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have finally an hour and a half into the show, we get the best punchline to Why Did the Chicken Cross the Road? It beats coup d'etat. I think you've got it. I think that's it. Better than 8 greasy pieces? Maybe.
Pretty good one.
It's possible. All right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? I don't know, man. Some of these are pretty rough. Pretty rough.
How will we know if you don't share them?
Well, okay. So, let's see. This is what they say to do if it happens to you with the Spanx and the chicken cutlets. They say, he made it perfectly clear that guys knew all about Spanx, had no problem with them. I guess they discussed it. Okay, so this girl says, I had exactly the same worry when I first hooked up with my boyfriend. He made it perfectly clear. Guys know all about Spanx and had no problem with them. They're just one of those girl things, and it's part of our intimacy, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Once while I was wearing awful underwear, I stripped and climbed into his bed while the guy went to the bathroom. This little trick works, he'll never notice. I would be shocked if I went to the bathroom and that while I was in the bathroom, some girl just came in and took off her clothes and got in my bed. That would very much surprise me.
I imagine that would be surprising.
And I don't know about you, but I don't necessarily go directly to bed when I leave the bathroom. I mean, I'm sure there's some context behind this we don't have, but I'm just saying the way it's presented, it doesn't necessarily
I think you're doing it wrong.
It doesn't lend itself to. Okay, anyway. Buy the Spanx Hide and Sleek full slip, not the strapless one. I wear it with all my dresses, and it makes your body look amazing. When you take the dress off, this slip dress looks like a sexy piece of lingerie. My boyfriend will vouch for its magic.
He'll vouch?
I guess. I mean, I don't know if that's...
I've never had to vouch.
There you go, ladies. I mean, look, the reality of it is this. Here's the guy perspective on this. The real guy perspective, not the intern that works at Glamour Magazine Skippy, that they just had to get an opinion from, so they pulled him into the room. We don't care. We're happy you're taking your clothing off. We're shocked, amazed, and very happy that your clothing is being removed. We don't give a crap what you have on underneath it. It doesn't matter. It's coming off anyway. We don't care.
I firmly agree. We're just very, very excited that you're letting us be there.
Absolutely.
We're just happy to be in the game.
Yep, we're happy to be part of it, and we're not going to suddenly, oh, you've got on some undergarments that I don't particularly find to be, they don't look like everything that I see in porn. I'm not going to be happy with that. That doesn't happen.
I wouldn't bring up porn.
That doesn't happen.
You know when they
Especially
say
not in that
it's
moment.
an honor just to be nominated? That's when we actually mean it.
Yes, that's when it applies. Okay.
Just to be nominated. And then you have pictures of 5 other very sad-looking men who didn't win. That was an Oscars joke.
Okay. All right. I lost you there. I thought. Okay. All right. Anyway, the disaster. Let's go to the next one. You ready for the next one?
I'm ready for the next.
Yeah. Well, that's next week. 8:00 Thursdays. Tune in. 347-326-9700 if you've got an opinion. Okay. The disaster. You knew letting him snap naked pics of you on his phone was a bad idea. Now 5,000 strangers know it too.
Yeah, that's always going to be a bad idea.
It is. And I don't even need to read the advice.
Speaking of which, can I borrow your phone?
No. Bottom line, unless you're married to that person, I don't think naked photos on any phone is a good idea ever. It just isn't. Because you could lose your phone. Your phone could be stolen.
Your phone can be hacked.
Your phone could be hacked into. Yeah, I mean, it's just not, just don't take the chance. Ladies, don't take the chance. Just, you know what? Put on the Spanx, stick with that, that works.
But you know what I do love?
Take the photos with the Spanx on, that'll be fine.
I love that there's a word for it. I love that sexting has become a word.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to me that there,
I think it's a great way to communicate, perhaps a bad way to send a resume, but
I think it may be a good way to send a resume, depending on the job you're applying for.
True, but it's
if you're going out for Hooters waitress, sexting may be the best way to send your application.
I think it's our word of the week. Between vajazzling last week and sexting this week, I think we may have something there.
It's funny because we do the outline for the show and then we just go completely off the rails, which I love.
I didn't even know there were rails.
There are. We don't ever stay on them, so we're not aware of their presence, but they're there.
True.
They exist. All right. The obvious answer here is just don't let anyone take any naked pictures of you on the phone, right? I mean, and I'm saying that to you all publicly, and I'm sure that in private I'll say other things, but publicly, that's our position, right? That's the official show position?
Yes, that is the official show position.
There you go. All right. Okay, the disaster.
But if you do, you can send them to, what's our number?
347-326-9700. Please don't. We'd rather you email it to us on Facebook. No, I'm kidding. We don't want that either. All right. So
I'm not on Facebook. I don't want that.
There you go. The disaster. He's smart. He's sexy. He's undressing. Wow, he smells bad. We're guys. We stink.
But I think you're going to know that before he's taking his clothes off.
You would think. You would hope so. And here's the thing. If a guy smells normally until he's naked, that's probably a bad sign.
Why did you turn interfere into my life?
I don't know, dude. I mean, that is so bad, you got to drop the voice. It is awful. If a dude takes off his clothes and then he smells...
And you can actually see cartoon stink lines.
And he gets the pigpen dust spin around him.
That's terrible.
You don't want that. You do not... That is... You know what that is? Urinary tract infection. That's a UTI. It's waiting to happen.
That is a UTI.
Just avoid it. Just avoid this... Come on. There's nothing pleasant about that. You don't want that. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea.
Is it a bad idea?
It's a bad idea. Although they have some great suggestions in here. Tell him you want to take a shower together. That's a good one. No man is going to refuse to take a shower with a woman. They're always going to agree to take a shower. And then you can clean them up. And now here's the important thing. If you take him and you guys shower together and then he gets out and he still smells, run. Even if it's your house, run. Don't look back. Don't save the dog. Don't go for the family photos.
Can you blame the dog?
Don't grab Rachel Ray. Just get out of there. Just get out of there.
Are we moving on to Rachel Ray's magazine?
I think so. I think we pretty much picked through Glamour. We've got most of the good bits out of it. I mean, most of the other stuff in Glamour really is it's a very visual magazine. They've got the do's and don'ts of jeans, but you can't see this. I mean, there's no, there's not.
I'm looking at that. I've never seen half of these.
Yeah, I mean, the do's and don'ts of jeans are pretty straightforward, okay?
They got a woman walking around like the Incredible Hulk here with her shredded jeans.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
Don't tear your jeans apart. It's basic stuff. Don't tear your jeans apart. Don't have graffiti on them.
But what if you're John Bon Jovi?
Well, only if you're... But, if you're John Bon Jovi,
You're going to tear your jeans up.
You're going to tear your jeans up. But that's because you're running away from Richie Sambora. Okay, so let's see if Rachel Ray's got anything interesting in her magazine.
Well, it looks like we didn't prepare this segment.
No, we did. I just have to find where we marked the pages
Welcome aboard,
Rachel Ray. Because she's giving away a bunch of stuff in here, and I want to look at the stuff she's giving away because some of the prizes in here are just absolutely ridiculous.
Is it like Oprah, like she gives everyone in the audience a car?
No.
And they have to pay taxes on them and don't realize it and go broke all because of Oprah. Thanks, Oprah. Oprah's not going to be
these are not. That's okay. That's okay. I always thought that. I always felt like what she should do is just start her. She should take all the. Oprah has so many followers. I prefer to call her the Popra. Because I think that's kind of what she is. She's like our Pope. She's like the American Pope, the Popra. That's what I call her, Popra.
I think you're alone then.
I am. I think I'm alone now. All right. There doesn't seem to be anyone listening at all. All right. You're going to win some crazy stuff in this Rachel Ray magazine, or you could win some crazy stuff in here. I don't. These are prizes. These are actual prizes. You could win.
For what? Like just for reading the magazine?
Yeah, I guess you could enter this contest, but you could. One reader will win a year's supply of Eggland's Best large white eggs. You'll win $75 worth of eggs.
Those are some delicious eggs. They
Provided
are in fact the best that Eggland has to offer.
They are the best, and they're quite a good size. They're large as well. So, but yeah, you could win. Now that's assuming you eat $75 worth of eggs in a year. Whereas if you're me, you probably eat $75 of eggs in like a month. Yeah, well, not all at once, but close. I'm not Cool Hand Luke, okay? But I'm.
Man says you can eat 50 eggs.
I wish I was. Okay, you could also win. Whoa, this is great. One reader.
Have to turn you into Joey Lawrence.
Whoa. Thanks for making fun of me. I appreciate that. Okay, one. I don't have his bald head though. I have great hair. I'm proud of it.
Complimenting Joey Lawrence. Moving on.
Perhaps you were. Well, one reader will win 75 coupons for a year's worth of Sargento reduced sodium cheese.
So you don't even win the cheese, you just win coupons?
You won coupons, and it's not even regular cheese. It's reduced sodium cheese.
You know how else you can win those? Reading a newspaper.
That's true. One reader will win 3 packages of Hormel Natural Choice lunch meat per week for a year. Wow, I don't know what I'd want to win more, the cheese or the lunch meat. Too bad you can't win them both together. Maybe with some bread. I don't know.
You know what else you'll win? High blood pressure.
That's true. You could win. Wow. Yeah, you could. One reader will win 56 coupons for Stouffer's family-sized meals for a total value of $503.
And then you'll be a Stouffer's family-sized family.
Well, you'd have to invite Arnold from Happy Days over to your house to eat with your family because it's just too darn much food. But see, you don't win the food. You win the coupons. You don't even win the actual. Although they have to give you the coupons because it's not like they can say, here's 56 frozen dinners. You know, fit these in your freezer.
Hey, they're frozen. I'll keep.
They won't fit in the freezer.
Perhaps you'll win a freezer.
That's not on the list.
That's a bummer.
One reader will win 12 gift certificates for Nestle's Drumstick ice cream cones. You won 12 ice cream cones. That is a prize, sir.
That is a $3.97 value, my friend.
These are like the parting gifts that you would get on Jeopardy in 1982. Just thank you for playing. All right, so let's see.
You don't even get a lousy copy of our home game.
10 readers will each win a set of Tupperware. Ooh, Tupperware.
Hey, that stuff's expensive.
Total value of $1,580.
And that's like what?
For 10 sets.
This is what I'm saying. Tupperware, not cheap.
One reader will win 12 bottles of Hidden Valley Farmhouse Originals dressing.
How will they find it?
You could win a year's supply of Goya rice mixes. That's pretty cool.
But it's not quite the San Francisco treat.
One reader will win coupons for a year's supply of Friskies cat food and treats. And I think that reader probably will wear velvet clothing. That's what I'm guessing. I'm guessing there's some velvet clothing going on, being worn, and possibly some anime being watched while that cat food is being served. And I'm not entirely convinced that whoever wins it is going to give all 1 year's worth of it to the cat.
You lost me, and that's gross.
Whatever. I heart cats. Yeah, that's right. You can laugh it up. Well, see, now, just to be fair, one reader will win coupons for a year's supply of Purina Alpo wet dog food.
Remember back when we had rails?
We are so far off the rails. Thank you, Rachel Ray. Let me ask the producer, do we have anyone listening at this point?
We do.
We do?
We have quite a few listeners.
We actually have listeners listening to us read the crappy prizes from the Rachel Ray magazine.
We got 17 minutes and 122 listeners, so say hi.
Hi, everybody.
Well, we're doing great. All right.
Pick up the phone.
Yeah, seriously. Why don't we get any call-ins? 347-326-9700. Tell us what miscellaneous food prize you would want to win from a magazine, but not really the food prize, just the coupons to obtain the food prize.
Tell us about the velvet clothing you're wearing.
Yeah, if you're wearing velvet clothing or you have a cape, you can call us, 347-326-9700. It's very simple. Put down the 20-sided die and pick up the phone.
This is my people you're mocking now.
This is my people I'm mocking now, too, because I love playing D&D. Well, I used to when I was a kid and I was a dork. That was a long time ago. I haven't played D&D in 20-plus years.
Too much work.
Too much work, not enough time. You know, who has time to play a 6.5-hour game? I can't even afford to buy that much Mountain Dew that I would need to get through an entire game of D&D anymore. And I wouldn't even know the rules, which probably is a good thing. All right. So let me ask you this then, Beans. What kind of prize would you want to win? What food prize would you want to win? I think I have my my pick.
I think I got to think about it. Tell me your pick, because I've got to think for a moment about what food prize I would enjoy.
I would want to win 1,000 packets each of Arby's sauce and horsey sauce.
What in the world are you going to do with 1,000 packets of horsey sauce?
I am going to put horsey. I would put horsey and Arby's sauce on everything that I would eat.
Captain Crunch?
Maybe. Is there milk in the bowl?
Not anymore. That's really...
Is there milk in the bowl?
I don't know about the listeners. I'm going to throw up. I don't know if anyone else is.
Is there milk in the bowl? If there's milk in the bowl, no. If there's no milk in the bowl, it's very disrespectful to the captain. No, I got to say no. I don't think so, because the texture is not right. It's not right. You don't want spicy Captain Crunch. You don't want your...
That could be a delicacy. We live in a world with deep-fried Snickers. Why wouldn't you have spicy Captain Crunch?
Captain Crunch, first of all, I love Captain Crunch, but I like my mouth more, so I won't eat it because I don't want my mouth cut to shreds. It's a very sharp cereal. It's the absolute manna of heaven when it comes to breakfast cereals. Actually, that's not true. Peanut butter Captain Crunch is the actual manna from heaven that God gave to us to eat, to enjoy. It is the food of God, literally.
Crunch berries, man, myself.
Okay, well, crunch berries could also work. They're quite good. Now, you know what they need to do is combine the crunch berries and the peanut butter Captain Crunch, and now you're onto something.
Mix them yourself.
Peanut butter and crunch berry Captain Crunch. Why don't they have that?
You got to be a cereal chemist.
Dude, this is now the third product I've invented on the show in less than 2 hours.
That's impressive.
And I think that is the best one. Listen, General Mills, here's the deal. You're being demoted. You're now a colonel. I'm the general, okay? Because I have a better idea for your cereal than you do. Private Mills. No, look, seriously, why doesn't General Mills make peanut butter and crunch berry Captain Crunch? They already make peanut butter Captain Crunch. They already make crunch berry Captain Crunch, and they already make Captain Crunch. So just put all three of them in the same box, and there you go. You've got another winner for a product. You don't even have to do any product development.
It's PB&J in a bowl.
With milk, which would be the greatest thing ever.
It would.
I don't even know how. Okay, I would love to win. That's what I would love to win. Forget about the Arby's sauce. I love the Arby's and the horsey sauce, but I would rather win a year's supply of peanut butter and crunch berry Captain Crunch.
There you go.
How about you? Now it's on to Beans. What are you going to want,
I got to stick with the cereals, because what I miss that I haven't had in forever.
You're going to say Apple Jacks.
No, the Monster cereals. Your Count Chocula.
Oh, dude.
Your Frankenberry.
And
most importantly, your Boo Berry.
If you were on Facebook,
which I'm not,
you would have seen that the producer of our show last October, in fact, had a box of all three, dude. Had all of them. He had Boo Berry, Frankenberry, and Count Chocula.
Once a year, you can get it for about 20 minutes at your local grocery store. Then it's off to Big Lots for the rest of the year.
Yeah, where it just gets stale.
That's right. But I miss my Boo Berry.
Boo Berry is possibly my favorite cereal ever. Well, no, because Peanut Butter Crunch is still ahead of it. But it's very close. But I can get Peanut Butter Crunch anytime. That's why. I've had more time to develop my taste for it.
Boo Berry is the blackjack gum of breakfast cereals. It's the thing that you can't really get anymore, and when you do, when you're at Cracker Barrel and you stumble across that pack of blackjack, everything's better for a week. That's how it is when you find that one box of Boo Berry.
Although Boo Berry does not last a week in my house.
No, nor should it.
It oftentimes will not even last a day.
I was going to say you're lucky if you get through the day.
Yeah, it's one bowl, and the thing is, it gets better the more when the milk turns blue, you got to put more in. You got to put more in because it gets so sugary and it soaks up all the marshmallow. It's great. It's really great. You know what else is great too? Combine them. Eat a bowl of Boo Berry first to get the water real blue and sticky, and then add in the Frankenberry. Yeah, that's right. I said sticky. Add in the Frankenberry, and that's just it, man.
That sounds like madness to me.
It's just absolutely fantastic.
That sounds like black tar heroin.
You know what? I'm glad we're getting close to Halloween, because this means the cereals are going to be back. And you know what I want to try? Combine all three. A monster mash of cereal, if you will.
I think there will be a mushroom cloud of deliciousness in your bowl.
And then it'll be in my mouth. It'll be amazing.
It will be.
Crunch, boom, crunch, boom. What is that? It's an explosion of flavor. Wow. You know what? You know who should sponsor our show? General Mills.
They sure should.
They really should.
Private Mills.
Well, yeah, that's right. I busted them down, didn't I?
Yeah.
Well, first, I think I demoted him to Colonel.
Yeah, but I think private sounds funny.
Private Mills? Okay. Well, we can do that.
Then they could be your private dancer. Your dancer for money.
I love me some Tina Turner.
Don't you?
We were talking about Tina Turner earlier
What happened to
today.
Tina Turner? She's another one. Is she our Gutenberg of the week?
We could make her the Gutenberg of the week with 10 minutes left in the show. Took us that long to get to it, but actually, Tina Turner still lives. She's living in France with her much younger man,
of course,
and still being sexy and being awesome.
She earns that younger man, by the way.
Yeah, well, I mean, come on, dude. It's Tina Turner.
Oh yeah.
Jeez. You know, I love my wife, but she knows if Tina shows up, sorry.
Bye.
Yeah.
No, I understand.
Her and Monica Seles. And I've revealed too much. I've just
Monica
said.
Seles.
Oh, don't start. It's a long story. I don't want to get into it.
No. We got 10 minutes left. Monica Seles.
I think Monica Seles is incredible. I'm a huge fan. I think she's amazing.
That seems oddly random.
I had the pleasure of meeting her once, many years ago.
So she imprinted on you.
And she made quite the impression on me. And I'm a big fan. I am a big fan. She's
can I ask
amazing.
you one thing?
Yes?
Monica Seles?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so I can't even get in. That's a cool product. They have a product in here that's a guitar-shaped flipper. It's a guitar-shaped spatula. That's pretty cool, actually. Just because I love all things.
For all your guitar-shaped waffles.
Well, because I got a thing today. It's really cool. Williams Sonoma, a friend of mine gave it to me. They now have Star Wars-shaped pancake molds at Williams Sonoma.
Yeah.
Darth Vader, Stormtrooper, and Yoda.
That is pretty awesome. I would love some Yoda cakes.
I would love some Yoda cakes as well. I'd be a little bit afraid of the Darth Vader ones, though. Darth Vader scared me a lot when I was a kid. I don't think I could eat a pancake shaped like his face.
I can understand that.
You know what else? It would
go well with your Hello Kitty toast, though.
That's true.
Have you seen the Hello Kitty toaster?
I have.
That burned Hello Kitty's face onto the toast?
I have the Hello Kitty toaster.
You have the Hello Kitty
I also
toaster.
have the Hello Kitty popcorn popper as well.
I had no idea that was a thing.
Yep. It's a thing.
Do the kernels
A thing
pop
in-
into little Hello Kitty heads?
No, it's a thing in my kitchen.
Well, then that's worthless.
No, just actually, like most Hello Kitty products, just has Hello Kitty emblazoned upon it.
Haha.
It functions regularly, just like a regular product. It just has Hello Kitty on it, and it's pink.
You know what? I got the new invention. Hello Kitty chicken cutlets.
That is the invention. That is it.
There
That's
we
the
go.
best thing we've come up with all week.
That's right. That would be way better than Hello Kitty's fangs. Almost went there, decided the cutlets would work better.
How about Hello Kitty Monster cereal?
No, it doesn't work as well as the chicken cutlets.
How about a Hello Kitty Jill?
I think we're done.
Are we going to wrap the show? Are we going to cut early for Hello Kitty chicken cutlets?
I think we peaked there.
I think
There's a Hello Kitty bra shop.
there's
a Hello
actually
Kitty bra
okay. Our
shop.
producer is telling us there's a Hello Kitty bra shop. Can I see this?
Absolutely.
Okay. Wow. We were not even going to mention Hello Kitty on the show, but here we go. Wow. Yep.
But now we want Hello Kitty to sponsor this show.
Yeah, we sure do. Well, there's so much Hello Kitty stuff. I mean, but yeah, there is in fact.
There's a Hello Kitty bra collection, but there is a Hello Kitty bra shop as well.
Wow.
And actually, there's an enormous amount of, there's Hello Kitty sex toys, there's Hello Kitty everything.
I think we just found a new segment.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about all the weird crap.
Hello Kitty of the week.
Yeah, the Hello Kitty of the week, the weird products we found this week that feature Hello Kitty. If you have a weird Hello Kitty product laying around your house, as I have many, obviously I have a spouse. That's where that comes from.
Yeah, but you had those way before you met her.
Yeah, I know, but we don't need to tell everyone that.
I think we just did.
Well, that's okay. No one's listening. All right, 347-326-9700. They're listening. They're just not calling. They're just not calling, and I don't understand why. They don't want to talk to us. Maybe they're just afraid to dive into this conversation, or they realize we only have 6 minutes left, and they just don't want to go there.
I think I'm afraid to dive into this conversation.
Well, you kind of gave us the taking off point with the Hello Kitty chicken cutlets.
I knew there was a lot of Hello Kitty crap, but I thought it was just dolls and shirts and toasters. I had no idea that Hello Kitty went quite that far into the underworld, if you will.
Well, it goes even further because there's there's other Hello Kitty products that are even more risque and racy, if you could believe it, than the Hello Kitty bra shop. And they do have some things like the Hello Kitty Jill, although not quite, but somewhat. Hey, you know what else?
I'm willing to bet you could find it. I do not doubt that such things exist.
You know what? You could win.
What could I win?
Well, if you're one of 3 lucky readers, you could win 52 coupons for Nature's Path products, including Pumpkin Flax Plus. Wow, that
is sort of the anti-blueberry cereal.
That is, isn't it? I think if Blueberry were placed next to that cereal on the...
it would be like matter and antimatter.
Well, I was going to say
it would
that...
melt into a Ron Silverish glob like the end of Time Cop.
Wow, it took us an hour and 55 minutes. Oh, no, we mentioned Jean-Claude before with the hair.
We did.
But now we've called back to him with the Time Cop.
Indeed we did.
Probably his... Well, no, not his last decent film. Because I wouldn't even call that a decent film.
It was fun.
It was fun. It was fun. It wasn't bad. But Sudden Death, maybe. Was that...
I enjoyed that if just for Powers Booth.
I liked it for Powers Booth. I liked it for Ross Malinger.
Powers Booth has maybe the greatest voice in Hollywood.
He does.
I can listen to him talk all day.
You know what else I love Powers Booth in? The movie he did with Brandon Lee, Rapid Fire.
Fun flick.
Great movie. Never gets any press. No one ever talks about it.
He did a Philip Marlowe show when I was a kid on HBO. It was one of HBO's first original series, and it was so perfect. And then it was gone after like 6 episodes, and you can't find it anymore.
But I know what you're saying though, because I recall actually, and ever since and whenever I think of Marlowe, I think of
Powers Booth.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, I tried reading the books not long ago, and when I did, his voice was the one narrating in my head.
Nice.
Which, I mean, his voice talks to me a lot in my head.
Is it louder than the other voices?
Not by much.
Okay, because for me, Steven Seagal, that's the one that really stands out.
You wouldn't think so, because he's so...
monotone?
Yeah, well, not monotone, but he's just so... He's got that kind of whispery quality.
Which I dig.
I just like that no matter how many of his movies I watch, how many interviews I see with him, a different accent every time.
Yeah, he never said... Yeah, well, of course, because he's in a different place every time, so he just adapts to be wherever he is. You try getting a moo. You try buying a moo in some of these places that he goes to without using the local accent.
Believe me, I've tried.
You'll have no access.
Thanks, moo. There's the next big thing.
Yeah, literally, there's the next big thing. Haha. Chicken coupe d'état. Coupe d'état.
Thank you, Dave.
8 greasy pieces.
That was a long time ago.
That was so long ago that when it happened, Styx was rocking the paradise. But you know what? I think we're going to have to listen to REO Speedwagon and take it on the run because time heals. Even if you have brass in your pocket and we don't talk anymore. You just have to realize little Susie's on the up, and you'd better bet she won't dance, but you better run because video's going to kill the radio star.
That was horrifying.
It's horrifyingly impressive. Come on, that was the first 10 videos on MTV in backward succession as one commentary. That was awesome. You got to give it to me for that.
I don't know that I do.
No, you don't want to be rocking the paradise to take it on the run because time heals.
Are you going to do that?
Even if you have,
again?
yes,
Really?
even if you have brass in pocket.
Really? You're just going to run right through it again?
We don't talk anymore.
He won't talk anymore after this.
Well, but as long as little Susie's on the up, you better bet she won't dance.
He won't stop. Why won't you call? Because if you call, this will stop.
347-326-9700. We've actually only got
That's how we win.
we've only got a couple of minutes here left. We've got 2 minutes left, so we're going to probably go ahead and start discussing how we're going to wrap this thing up. And I want to thank all of the people who are listening out there. I want to encourage you to please call us next week. We're going to be on again Thursday, 8 o'clock. Same Frank time, same Frank channel.
Don't forget to check out pitchtotherhino.com.
Yes, thank you very much for mentioning that, Beans. Pitchtotherhino.com. We want to thank them for coming on. Thank you to Toby as well. And remember, that's Calder Racetrack this Saturday. You can come check that out. I'm going to give the call-out number again one more time, 347-326-9700. For anyone that wants to call us next week, we will be back next week. I want to thank Beans. I want to thank our callers for calling in. Thank you to Sean. Thank you to my dad. Thank you to Toby. I want to thank... Oh, that was great.
Thank the computer lady.
Yes, I want to thank the computer for telling me I have 90 seconds left because I thought I only had a minute. I want to thank our producer. The lovely is adorable. And I want to thank all of you out there for listening. And just remember, why did the chicken cross the road?
Oh, you're expecting me to answer this?
Yes.
Oh, that's not going to happen. I think we finished the chicken jokes. I think we ran the chicken jokes into the ground. I think that lady's annoying. I think, in fact, hashtag no more chicken jokes.
I was going to use yours. I was going to say, why did the chicken cross the road to escape Frank Purdue?
Still, my official Twitter hashtag for the evening will be no more chicken jokes.
No more chicken jokes. All right. Well, then we won't make any more chicken jokes. We'll come up with something. Maybe next week the joke will be what's black and white and red all over.
And none in the blender. Goodbye, last listeners.
Steven Seagal killing someone in an old-timey way. No?
Yeah.
Okay. We can't end on that.
Good night, everybody.
Coup d'etat. All right, we got 30 seconds. We're going to wrap it up here. And again,
wrapping it up for 4 minutes.
We've been wrapping it up for a while, but you know what? I'm very bad at wrapping things. So.
All right. Good. We're under the tree.
We're out.
Bye.